Hi everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to be honest with you all, I was called to do this. They asked me, so when I say they, I mean my spiritual team, my angels, my spirit team, my guides, whatever you want to call it. They asked me to kind of lean into this energy for all of you. So I just ask that you stay curious, be open, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to talk about this kite formation that is starting and happening in 2025 and in 2026. It's not a true whole kite, but it's like the top of a kite that's going to take us into this year, next year, and actually well beyond, like I'd say 5 to 10 years from now, but they're showing me even beyond. So I'll break this down a little bit for you. So starting in 2025, we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus will be forming opportunity aspects to each other. So, or sextiles, we call them. Now at the top or the tip of the kite, we have Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Aries. Now, some of us are going to feel this right off the hop in 2025, early 2025, but they start getting closer and closer and closer together in May 2025. Now, for those of you that like exact, like you use no orbs, you want the exact degree point. Again, I don't have an exact date for you because that's not how I use astrology. But in August 2025, I guess, is when they'll perfect at or around 1 degrees of Aries. So depending on what orb system you prefer, when I'm dealing with the heavy hitters, I call them, so Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and even Jupiter, I widen up the orbs a little bit. So that's what I'm going to be referring to in these videos. So they won't be exact to the point, because I don't know about you, but for those of you out there that have experienced a Saturn or a Pluto coming up to your sun, coming up to your rising, coming up to your descendant, coming up to your Mercury, Venus, Mars, anything really, you feel it like up to 2 years in advance. Like you can feel this energy. It's not, my opinion is it's not about the day, the exact to the point day. It's about it usually manifests well before the conjunction. And then at the conjunction, it's usually like, oh, okay, that's what happened. But anyway, that's just my opinion, you guys. I'm not saying I'm right and everybody's wrong, or I'm wrong and everybody's right. This is just my method. This is how I use astrology. So just keep that in mind when we're going through all 12 signs here and talking about this kite formation that's going to hang out for quite a few years ahead. Now, this energy will obviously come and go. It'll wax and wane because that's how the outer planets work. So it's not going to be a consistent vibration. It will be, but it won't be. It's you know, forgive me. I'm kind of doing this video on a whim based on what they're telling me and what they're showing me. So the energy will not be a consistent pressure or consistent, like you got to push forward, you got to do this, you got to do that. No. It's kind of like just a gentle hum in the background. And then obviously when these angles perfect, or if they come into contact with something in your birth chart, obviously that vibration will get greater and greater, right? It'll get a little bit louder for you to, again, pivot and lean into these energies. But regardless of the retrograde periods, again, speaking of orbs, they're still going to be within orb with each other, and they're going to still activate each other. Again, this is just my opinion. Now, the retrograde periods, so in particular, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Pluto now is permanently in Aquarius. So we did this dance, we did this walk with Pluto between the worlds in 2023, 2024. And now he's permanently in Aquarius, November 2024. And his upcoming retrograde in 2025 will stay. He'll stay in Aquarius now. But Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus will continue to dance between two worlds, between two signs in 2025. And then in 2026, they'll permanently and fully move into these energies, which is a good thing. There's a reason for this, because energetically, they're showing us we our physical, dense human bodies need time to adjust to these new vibrations, these new energies that are coming onto the planet. And it's not just one planet. Like, just think of Pluto. For those of you that are really sensitive to energies, like 2023, 2024 could have been quite intense, and almost feel like you were in a pressure cooker. Now think of it, this year we're dealing with 3 planets, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. So thankfully they're kind of scattered throughout the year. And when they retrograde back, this will give our bodies and our cellular structure, if that makes sense, sort of time to adapt to this brand new energy. And obviously the collective as well. I don't want to make this about science, you know, and our cellular structure, but it's also about the collective. But if you've been watching me for a while, I like to make these videos about us, you know, because I'm not a collective astrologer. Does it fascinate me? Yes. But my specialty is more so, how does this impact us on an individual level and our cells, our bodies, our energetic waves of frequency, so to speak, versus the big collective? Because I can't control the collective. The collective's going to do what the collective wants to do, right? Just like trying to control government. We can't control that, right? So I like making these videos about us. But anyway, the retrograde periods will give us time to catch our breath and take a step back, reassess, revise, redo, things like that, and also energetically adapt to these waves that are going to be coming into 2026 and beyond. Now, eventually, these planets will spread out. However, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus will continue to have a conversation with one another because they move so slowly compared to all the other planets in the sky. Now, Saturn will move along because he takes about 2.5 years, 3 years to move through a sign, but he's still going to be in Aries. It's not like this is a light switch and Saturn's gone and all of a sudden he's in Taurus. No, like whatever seed that we plant in 2025, consciously or unconsciously, they're showing me, it doesn't matter. But Saturn's going to hold on to that seed that we plant in the middle of 2025, and he's going to kind of like cruise along with it. He's going to, like, you know, walk through Aries with it. So June, July, I'm going to jump ahead here now. June, July of 2026, Jupiter will activate this kite formation from Leo and actually create kind of like a cradle in the sky, a loose cradle in the sky. Again, I'm using a wider orb system. I'm not using exact to the point science here, but it'll be a big cradle in the sky. So we're going to talk about that as well, because Jupiter in Leo will add in another layer. Now, I don't want to discredit Jupiter moving through Cancer. Jupiter moving through Cancer is still going to be a special transit. I made separate videos about this, you guys, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you're interested. I'm going to release these videos as they get closer to the transition times in 2025. So I don't want to discredit Jupiter moving through Cancer, but where another activation is going to take place is when Jupiter moves into a fire sign, right? And Jupiter moves through a sign once a year. So he's the quickest moving, biggest, gaseous giant, believe it or not, that's the fastest moving out of all the outer planets. So I hope that kind of makes sense and I didn't lose you. But anyway, we'll get into all 12 signs here in a second here. Now, I kind of also want to paint a picture of how slow this kite is going to slowly disassemble. So 2028, so yes, I'm going to jump ahead again. 2028, Uranus will be at 11 degrees of Gemini. So this is when, yes, he'll start pulling away from this kite formation, or the top of the kite, I should say. Now, December 2028, can you guess where Pluto and Neptune are going to be? They're both going to be hanging out at 6 degrees of their respective signs. So look at that. They're still exact 6 degrees by December 2028. They're still going to be chatting to each other. So I just kind of wanted to paint you that picture. And I mean, I could go on and on and on about this, but I'll do one last marker here. So 5 years from now, December of 2030, can you guess where Pluto and Neptune will be? So they're only going to be at 10 degrees of their respective signs. So Pluto at 10 degrees of Aquarius and Neptune 10 degrees of Aries. Now, what they're also telling me is this will, so 5 years from now, this is going to also be a new monumental moment, like a milestone moment, because they're coming out of the physical decan, the first decan. And if I'm losing you, just bear with me here. So they're also showing me that's going to be an important pivot point, critical point in time as well. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. But I hope you can kind of see where I'm coming from, how slow Pluto and Neptune will be hanging out with each other. And thank goodness it's an opportunity aspect. Now, keep in mind, you know, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, they're going to be well along their way by 2030. And I can't remember, I don't have it in front of me where they're exactly going to be, because that's not the point of this video. But the point is here and now, the seeds that you're planting, consciously or unconsciously, it's kind of like you're setting yourself up for some sort of storyline that's just getting started. And we don't even know, like they're showing me, we don't even know what we're stepping into, but that's okay. They're showing me it's okay. My point in this video is to inspire everyone to these respective areas of life, which we're going to talk about, that are being activated by this top of the kite. And then we'll talk about Jupiter adding in another layer once he creates this cradle, but that's not going to happen until middle of 2026. So this video does stand the test of time here, whether you're watching this in 2025, 2026, or beyond, because there's something that started in 2025 that you initiated or maybe didn't initiate that is now going to carry you into the future. This is like a brand new book that is being written in your own personal Akashic records, so to speak. That's kind of like how they're showing it to me. Now, I'm asking all of you to lean into this. If you're still with me and still watching me right now, I just ask you to be curious, lean into this. I'm just giving you something to ponder, something to chew on. I'm not saying you have to do something, because they're showing me that doesn't even matter, because we will be consciously and unconsciously planting seeds, all of us. It's like a mixed bag of energy, because we don't even know what we don't know yet. It's like, you know, trying to find your keys in the dark, you know, the lights go out, right? And it's like, oh my God, what am I doing, right? And you're bumping things over and you're knocking things over, and that's kind of what they're showing me. So we can use this energy consciously, and that's what I'm going to encourage in this video. But if you don't know, you guys, it's okay. If you're watching this and you're like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to use this energy. It's okay, you guys. Like, I'm giving you permission. I'm not telling you, you got to do something, you got to do this, no, that's not how I operate. I was called to do this video to I like to inspire people. I like to inspire people to lean into astrology. That's what I love about astrology. And keep in mind, we have free will. So it's up to us how we want to use this energy. It's up to the collective how we want to use this energy. Also, something I want to mention that I kind of forget to mention in my videos, and I'm going to try to remember moving forward, is this kite, this top of the kite, is also going to be happening in not only our personal birth charts, which I'm going to focus on in this video, but your country, the country that you live in, that has a birth chart. So somewhere in the country's birth chart is this kite that's going to happen, and a cradle at some point. The city, town that you're living in right now, that city, town, whatever, has a birth chart. Everything and everyone has a birth chart. Your business has a birth chart. Your marriage has a birth chart. The day you started a company back in 1931, you know, your grandfather's grandfather, whatever, passed down from generations, that has a birth chart. So that's something I always forget to remind folks of, is this goes beyond our personal birth charts. If you're a solo entrepreneur, if you work for yourself, you can actually apply this to your business's birth chart too. And again, if you're in big corporate whatever, big corporate America, whatever, that also has a birth chart. The day you started in that company also has a birth chart. Everything has a birth chart, or I guess you can call it an event chart, whatever you're more comfortable with. So anyway, I want to throw that out there because also if you're curious, and if you want to work with me one-on-one, we can also look at your business's chart and see where this kite is activating it. Or in general, we can look at all the transits in general. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I keep forgetting about that. And yeah, your marriage, the day you started a job, the day you got a puppy, you know, everything has a birth chart, which is kind of cool if you start tracking it like that. They're also showing me that this kite formation is like a code. I don't know how else to describe it, but like a code, a blueprint, almost like a thumbprint unique to us. And it's going to be in everyone's charts in 2025, 2026, obviously. And just think of all the babies that are going to be born with this permanently in their birth chart. But that doesn't disregard or discredit us. You know, we're also going to be having this in our personal birth charts as well. Also, yeah, they're telling me, I'm going to throw it out there, the day you bought a home, that also has a birth chart. The day you moved has a birth chart. The day you moved across the country has a birth chart. Like everything has a birth chart. But anyway, so they're showing me as a code that's going to be imprinted or like almost like implanted in all of us, but kind of from an energetic level, not like a physical, literal level. And obviously this is going to be now activated over the next several years and decades, like decades. So personal planets are going to activate it, especially when something goes into or through Libra. That's definitely going to activate this kite formation. But they're also showing me an emphasis on progressions. And I know if some of you are not familiar with that, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just bear with me. But for those of you that know what I'm talking about, the progressed moon is going to be really important. Again, in your personal birth chart, your event chart, whatever you want to, you know, whatever you want to watch for. The progressed moon is similar to Saturn cycles. It takes about 30 years to move around the entire zodiac wheel. So that in particular, they're showing me the progressed moon is going to be very important for these milestones as well. And obviously the slower moving planets, right? The sun's going to activate this kite every year. Mercury will every year. Venus will every year. Mars will every couple years. And then you throw the retrogrades in there. And then obviously Jupiter is going to cruise along as well. Like, so they're showing me layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. So I don't want to bore you, but the point is it's like a snapshot in time, and there'll be consistent activations to this kite for the, you know, until we all cross over, basically. That's kind of what they're showing us. So if you're still with me, thank you so much for listening to my spiel on this. Like I said, I was called to do it. So if this reaches even 10 people, if this inspires 10 people, I did my job. So anyway, before I dive into all 12 signs, I want to take a quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you for doing so, and I'm sending the love and the support back to you tenfold. So I love you all for that. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy and grateful you stumbled across my website, my YouTube channel, one of my videos, whatever the case may be. But hopefully you enjoy this video. And keep in mind, all of my videos on YouTube land here are general readings. I do not have your personal birth chart sitting in front of me, so always keep that in mind. If you'd like a personal reading, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I'll be sure to put the link to that in the description box below. I do use a whole sign house system for all of my videos here on YouTube land, and I also use Western tropical astrology. So again, take what resonates, you guys, leave the rest. I know I sound like a broken record. I say that every single time, but it's true, because I don't think this would resonate 100% with each and every one of you. And I do recommend you watch for your rising sign, especially this video. But if you don't know your rising sign, I can appreciate that. I know that time of birth can sometimes be a bitch to get. Thank God my mom knew it. That's all I know. So if you don't know your time of birth, that's okay. Definitely watch for your sun sign to pull this energy together for you. And at least you'll be able to take away some nuggets, because the sun sign still is our career, our life force, our vitality. It's kind of like a little spotlight in the birth chart. So it does tie into our purpose and what we're being asked to lean into in this lifetime. All right, everyone, thank you so much if you're still with me. Now let's dive into all 12 signs. Hey, Aries, let's talk about this top of the kite formation that is literally pointing directly at you, Aries. So you are, well, you are the only sign. I had to think about that for a second. You are the only sign that's having this conjunction. So it's almost like this arrow, kind of like your ruling planet Mars is pointing right at you, Aries. You know, you are the sign of I am. So let's break this down. Now on the right hand side of the screen, if you want to take a screenshot, if you want to pause the video and write down these dates, these are all the ingresses when Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter move into new territory, the back and the forth. I have that all on the right hand side here. So Aries, let's start with the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune in your first house. So this is all about you, Aries. This is all about new beginnings times 100. Whatever you want to start in 2025 and in 2026, this is your time to lean into it, to jump into it. I don't care if it's something small or it's something big. Again, if you watch the beginning of my video, these are not hard, fast rules. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to even do anything. Because again, they're showing me everyone is going to be unconsciously and consciously planting seeds of intention around this energy. But I feel like Aries, out of all the signs, I feel like the power is literally in your palm. So for those of you that want to do something big or go home, now is the time to do it. Now, I'm not saying you got to do this again within a month. Okay. You have a lot of time. Time is on our side with this transit. There's lots and lots and lots of time. So this could be about your physical appearance, your identity, what you're known for doing. So again, apply this to whether you're working or not working. Okay. Because I don't care how old you are. It does not matter. If you're 20 years old and listening to this, if you're 45 years old listening to this, or if you're 70 years old listening to this, it does not matter, because new beginnings can happen any time of our existence. You know, it's not like, 55 comes along and we're dead and, we roll over and life is done with us. No, Aries. So I hope you can resonate with that. But this is about the health and well-being of the body. This is about how you're taking care of the body. This is all major life cycles, because if you've been following me for a while, I talk about this. Anything that happens in the first house can ripple out to all areas of life. So this could be a big career move. This could be about starting a business. This could be about selling a business. This could be about moving into retirement or thinking of retirement or planning for retirement, or something to do with home, family, foundation, your place of living, or relationships. Love, business, whatever you want. Anyone that you're in bed with, literally or metaphorically, apply this to your circumstance, Aries. So the top of this kite, yes, it's in your first house, but the first house is about us, meaning we have the power to utilize this energy however we want when it's in the first house, because it's about us. It's literally, you are the I am sign, and it is in the energy of I am. So you're getting, I hope that makes sense, double, triple whammy of create the life you want and desire, Aries. This is the time to do it. Now, on the other side of the kite, you have Pluto up in your 11th house. So Pluto will be deconstructing this area of life for the next 20 years. But in particular, he's supporting this new beginning from your 11th house. And this is about older siblings, if you have any older siblings, friendship circles, groups, unions, professional associations, professional memberships, whatever you want to call it, groups of people that you surround yourself with. I know for some reason they're showing me like a golf club. That is so specific, but I'm going to throw it out there. That's why I paused. I'm like, why are you showing me like, I don't know, a swanky golf thing, golf membership or golf club. But anyway, sure, that's the 11th house, you know. It's people that we surround ourselves with. The 11th house is also about our role and our commitments within these groups, associations, affiliations as well. That could be changing, by the way. It could be also your role within these groups that could be changing over the next several years, again, consciously or unconsciously. This is also the house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term goals and commitments. It's also the house of social media and networking and reaching a wider audience, kind of like casting a larger net. And this is about anything that supports you and lights you up. So Pluto is not only going to be here for like 20 years or 19 years, depending on when you're watching this, but he'll be supporting this new beginning that you start in 2025 and 2026. Now, on the other side of the kite, we have wild and wacky Uranus that nobody can control. So Uranus is going to be in your third house for about 7 years. So the third house, again, a very busy social house. So this is about the mind, the lower mind, meaning the higher mind, because the third house is the lower mind, but Uranus definitely brings in that higher mind. He's the higher octave of Mercury. This is about communications of all kinds, of all walks of life. Even they're showing me like third eye communications or like telepathic communications. Yes, that's what they're showing me, folks. So I'm going to say it. How you digest information, how you chew on information. This is educational pursuits. This is practical skills, talents, and abilities, upgrading. This is transportation, how we get around, how you get around, Aries. That probably will be changing for you over the next 7 years, and for all of us for that matter. So planes, trains, automobiles, think of things like that. Third house is siblings as well. So notice I said that twice. Older siblings, now you got siblings in general. So for those of you with siblings, maybe they're going to be playing an active role in the next several years with this new beginning. But, you know, siblings, it could be cousins, it could be relatives, it could be extended family members as well. Third house is also neighbors and neighborhoods. Like think about your local vicinity, your local community. This is also a house of social media and internet. I know I'm repeating myself, but there's a reason there. And third house is also short distance traveling. So again, focus more so on local. I'm not saying you can't focus on international, Aries. Okay, I just want to be clear. I'm just talking about the areas of life that are being lit up here. So hopefully one of these things maybe resonated with you, or like the green bulb came on and you're like, oh, okay, that's what I was thinking about. One thing I think I forgot to mention is this kite is activating your life houses and social houses and relationship houses. So forgive me, I should have said that in the beginning. But again, this is all about the spark of life, especially for you, Aries. Now, Jupiter, yes, I'm kind of skipping over Jupiter moving through Cancer. I made separate videos about that. So stay tuned to my channel. I'll release all these videos at a later time, or slowly but surely throughout early 2025, I should say. Now, once Jupiter hops into Leo, I'm skipping way ahead now. Middle of 2026, you're going to start feeling this. Jupiter coming into Leo is now going to activate this kite. And if you can kind of see the planets, I know this is a pretty basic chart that I have on the screen, but you kind of get the idea of a cradle formation. It looks like a little basket, right? Where Jupiter will be opposing Pluto, Jupiter will be sextiling Uranus, and then Jupiter will be trining Saturn and Neptune. So what does this fifth house bring in? So this could bring in another layer of opportunity, Aries, in 2026. Fifth house is all about children. Now, for those of you that are looking to start a family in the next couple years, absolutely it could happen. 100,000%, especially Jupiter being in the fifth house. This is fertility. So I don't care if you're a man or a woman watching this. It doesn't matter. It takes 2 to tango last time I checked. Or who knows, you know, in the future I can appreciate women can get pregnant on their own. But you know what I mean. So if you're not looking to have kids in the next couple years, or again, it depends on your age, right? I can already hear people saying, well, I'm too old to have kids. I get it. but I mean, I'm talking to the wider collective here. So for those of you not looking to start a family, take those extra precautions, and I can appreciate it if you're like past the age of not having kids or not wanting kids. I can appreciate that. So, but I'm just saying, fifth house is children, starting a family, things like that. Jupiter in your fourth house, by the way, excellent time to start a family. So that starts in 2025. But anyway, I apologize if I'm bouncing around here. Fifth house is also grandchildren. So for those of you, you could be welcoming in new children or grandchildren into your world in some way, shape, or form. Fifth house is love affairs, romance, dating as well. So again, Jupiter here will expand that depending if you're connected or not connected. If you're in a marital relationship, obviously don't worry about that. This is going to be about igniting that spark in your marriage, for example, Aries. Now, if that does not resonate with you, the fifth house is about creativity, self-expression, hobbies, projects, entertainment. This is joy. This is something, Aries, that lights you up from the inside out. You know, think back to when you were in school, or depending on your age, you know, the teachers ask you, well, what do you want to do the rest of your life? This is the fifth house. This is where it comes from. You know, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a whatever. I want to be an astronaut. This is where the fifth house energy comes in. So Jupiter will be bringing in or adding in an additional layer middle of 2026 to do with this kite, to do with this new beginning, if you want to take advantage of this energy or not, Aries. Again, I'm not telling you have to do something. You don't have to do anything with this energy because, again, they're showing me regardless. This is a blueprint. This is a thumbprint. This is a code being activated in all of our birth charts moving forward. And again, this is going to stand the test of time because these planets are hanging out for such a long time, like I mentioned. So Aries, I hope that kind of gave you some clues or some things to think about in the years ahead. Again, these are not hard, fast rules. These are not hard, fast guidelines. I'm not telling you you have to do anything with this energy. This is being activated in your chart, whether you are conscious of it or unconscious of it. But if something rang true to you, maybe lean into it or look into that, right? Or if anything, I hope this inspires you to think big, you know, think outside the box, push yourself outside of your comfort zone, Aries. If there's any time to do that, it's in 2025 and 2026. And speaking of time, there's lots of time. So don't feel rushed. Don't feel like you have to have this done by the end of 2025. No, because these planets are going to be hanging out for quite some time. So Aries, enjoy, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Taurus, let's talk about this top of the kite formation for you. So all the areas of life that are being activated for you, Taurus, are your wealth houses and also your houses of endings. Now, I'm not saying you're going to die, okay? So don't jump to conclusions, Taurus. I will describe that right now because I'll describe the 12th house of endings, where literally the top of this kite is pointing. So kind of like that's where almost the concentration of energy is for you, Taurus. So 12th house, yes, all about endings, but that doesn't mean you're going to die, Taurus. I just want to be 100,000% clear. This is about preparing for a new cycle. This is about letting things go once and for all in 2025 and 2026. So you're not carrying them with you anymore. And you fill in the blank. This could be people, places, things, energies, cords, whatever you want, skeletons in the closet. This is the time to get rid of them once and for all. And of course, work with practitioners. I can appreciate we can't all do this ourselves, by ourselves. You know, we're in the energy now permanently of connecting with like-minded people versus doing things solo all the time, Taurus. So work with whoever you need to work with to clean your body, the physical body, the mental, psychological, spiritual, whatever you want. It's about cleansing yourself head to toe with like little scrubbies, invisible scrubbies, or literal, whatever you want, Taurus. But this is about just, cleaning out the closet quite literally, so you can just energetically move on and be lighter and more free. So that's going to be one of your focuses with this new beginning. And again, this is unconscious or conscious, you guys. If you watch the beginning of the video, I'm not telling you you have to do something. I'm not telling you you have to do anything. I'm just kind of hopefully inspiring you and throwing out some nuggets of information that would maybe resonate with you. 12th house is also about reflecting on every single aspect of your life. You know, where is your time being spent? Where is your money and resources and finances being spent? Where is your energy being spent? Like all areas of life, Taurus, it's about asking yourself those hard questions. And is it time to pump the brakes and create a new path, take a new path? 12th house is also about awakenings. And again, take that as whatever resonates with you. Awakenings with spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, whatever. Awakenings, period. It is a house of spirituality and, you know, doing things behind closed doors. So again, whatever religion or spiritual belief systems you have, apply this to your circumstance. 12th house is also about dreams, the dream world, dreamland. The invisible realms also sits in the 12th house as well. Solitude, taking a time out. Maybe some of you will be doing that over the next couple years. I mean, Saturn's going to be in here for a long time, 2.5 years, and same with Neptune. So don't feel guilty, Taurus, if you want to take a break from whatever. Like, again, you fill in the blank. Also apply this to your circumstances, whether you're working or not working. So if you are working, maybe it's time to take a break, a mental health break, a sick leave, whatever you want to call it, Taurus. But stepping away from the spotlight is not a bad thing to do during this time, especially with these heavy energies in your 12th house. 12th house is also about hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, Taurus. So I have a feeling a lot of you are going to have, well, not only they're showing me multiple spiritual awakenings, whether you believe it or not, or like paranormal. I think you're going to have a lot of paranormal experiences, and I don't mean that in a scary way, like how the movies paint it, which is bullshit, by the way. That's just my 2 cents. That's what they're showing me. Like, you don't know what you don't know. We're all navigating in the dark right now, but I think a lot of you are going to like come out of this as like spiritual gurus. They're actually showing me Buddha right now. I think Buddha was a Taurus. I don't know. I'm not, you know, forgive me. I could be totally off on that, but they're showing me Buddha. So I'm not saying maybe some of you will be like walking, obviously, spiritual path. I'm not saying you have to be Buddha, but that's kind of what they're showing me, is like you're going to be walking a brand new spiritual path that you can't even comprehend in this reality yet, Taurus. So I'm just going to throw it out there. So that's what I mean about these energies activating your wealth houses. So Pluto and Uranus are activating wealth houses for you. Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter are activating the house of endings. But I mean, what comes after an ending? It's a new beginning. So it's kind of like preparing for a new cycle. But Taurus, again, there's no rush. There's no effing rush with this, okay? I want to be clear. This energy will stand the test of time 2025 and 2026. And beyond. If you watch the beginning of my video, it's even beyond. Now, let's talk about Pluto. So Pluto is going to be at the top of your sky. So he's at one side of the kite supporting this, whatever this seed that's being planted in the 12th house, okay? So Pluto's supporting this from a career perspective. And again, whether you're working or not working, you'll have to apply this to your circumstance. But the 10th house is a very public area of life. Pluto will be deconstructing this for you, Taurus, over the next 19, 18 years or so, depending on when you're watching this. But it's a good 20-year transit starting in 2024. So career, public status, public standing, reputation. It's legacy, the big legacy that you want to leave behind, Taurus. What do you want to be known for? Status can also mean I'm, married, going from single to married and married to single type of thing, that type of energy. Now, I'm not saying all of you are going to get divorced, so please don't panic. Okay, that's not for every single one of you. And again, this is Pluto. He's slow. This is not going to happen overnight. I'm just generalizing what I mean by status. You could be known for being a lawyer. And during this transit, maybe you sell everything off and you get out of that corporate world and you move into the spiritual world, or you open up a bake shop, or you buy a farm or a winery or something like that, Taurus. That's what I'm talking about, a big shift in what you're known for. 10th house is also about long-term commitments and goals. 10th house is also about your relationship to authority figures. So bosses, I just heard clients, so okay, I'm going to throw it out there too. Clients, also mother, father authority figures, parents, parental units. Also you as a parent, Taurus, if you are a parent or will become a parent, perhaps, with Jupiter in that 4th house in 2026. So I'll just throw that out there too. So that's the angle Pluto is bringing to this kite. Now the other angle is wild and crazy Uranus that nobody can control. So Uranus being in your 2nd house of earnings, of income, how you earn a living. Again, whether you're working or not working, how do you pay the bills? How do you pay the taxes? How do you pay for food on the table? So again, you fill in the blank there. You answer that question, Taurus. So money, work, finances, how you earn a living, how you make a living. Your value system is really going to be shooken up by Uranus in here for 7 years, Taurus. Again, 7 years, very long time. So don't panic, please. And I'm not trying to instill fear, by the way, with these videos. I'm trying to inspire you folks to do something with this energy if you feel called to do so. 2nd house is also about your material possessions, like what you actually own. It's more so about your financial circumstances versus your partner's or somebody else's financial circumstances or ties. So this is more so about you and the money you earn and the money you make and what you value, whether it's from a material possession standpoint or more of an internal shift standpoint, if that makes sense. So that's where this kite is happening. Those are the 3 areas of life. Now I'm going to jump ahead to Jupiter in Leo. And I forgot to mention, if you want to take a snapshot, screenshot, if you want to pause the video, I have all the dates listed on the right-hand side. I'm not going to go through them all. This is when Neptune transitions into new territory, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, etc. So you have that there. I'm not going to go through that line by line by line. I made separate videos about these heavy hitters that I'll slowly release throughout 2025, like the first part of 2025. Anyway, Jupiter in Leo. Yes, I'm skipping ahead by an entire year, depending on when you're watching this. So middle of 2026, he's going to move into Leo. And the reason why this is important, I'm not saying Jupiter in Cancer won't be important, because that will be. And I made a separate video about that. But Jupiter here is going to activate now a cradle. You can kind of see what I'm getting at. It looks like kind of a basket, a sideways basket. So Jupiter will create this cradle, but also activate this kite that started in 2025. So it's like Jupiter is now going to put in his 2 cents. Now, where is he putting in his 2 cents, Taurus? For you, this is to do with home, family, foundation, your living circumstances. So this could be about your children. This could be about starting a family for those of you interested. This could be buying, selling real estate, renovating the home. Usually this is expanding the home on some front, people moving in with you, people moving out, whatever, just lots of action and activity on the home. This could also be about security. What does security mean to you, Taurus? Or does that trigger you in some way, shape, or form? So that's kind of the angle Jupiter will be asking you to sort of step outside your comfort zone. And what do you want to activate in this area of life? Or what additional layer do you want to bring into this big change on top of this kite formation? Fourth house is also about your roots, your ancestry, like where you came from, the past. So the past we talked about in your 12th house, right? That's kind of, or if I didn't mention this, 12th house is also like past life regression. Maybe some of you will become like a therapist or help other people through this kind of trauma or stuff like that. But yes, the fourth house also, because it's a house of endings. So this is also about the past, and triggers from the past could be coming back around, or dealing with people from the past in general. Fourth house is, again, I'm going to repeat myself, this is a parental axis. So Pluto and Jupiter in 2026 will be working together on your relationships with authority figures. Your mother, your father, your boss, like I mentioned, clients, possibly for you, if you own a business, run a business, or you as a parent, Taurus, are going to be going through some changes, or part of this big change is layered in here, something to do with parenting and what that means for you. Also, retirement lies in the fourth house too. So plans to retire, thoughts of the future, expanding that nest egg, the financial nest egg, whatever you want to call it. Or again, if you're already retired or will be retired in the next 5 years, what are your next steps? Now what? You know, life doesn't end at 55 or 65 or 75. How and what do you want to contribute to society? How do you want to contribute to society? So Taurus, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this gave you some information to at least think about. Again, this video is not one and done. It's active 2025, 2026. So utilize this energy any way, shape, or form. And like I said, seeds will be planted in 2025, consciously or unconsciously. And you know, it is what it is, Taurus. Use this energy however, whatever you feel called to do with this energy. So enjoy, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Gemini, let's talk about the top of this kite and the areas of life that will be activated for you in 2025 and 2026. So your life houses and your social and relationship houses are going to be activated by this kite and the cradle. So let's break this down. Now the tip of the kite, or the point of the kite, is where Saturn and Neptune are coming together in your 11th house. So what is the 11th house? 11th house, Gemini, is anybody that you surround yourself with by choice, or maybe not by choice. So this could be older siblings. For those of you that have older siblings, that's the 11th house. But this is friendship circles, groups, unions, professional associations, professional memberships, whatever you want to call it, personal or professional memberships that you are surrounded by, that you join into, whatever you want to call it, your role within these groups as well. This is where this seed of intention is being planted. So consciously or unconsciously, though, I should say, because some of you I can appreciate are maybe just leaning into this energy now, being curious, and don't really know what to do with this energy. So 11th house is also your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term commitments and goals. It's the future. It's the house of the future. So again, Gemini, lean into, I'm not expecting you to do like a 5 or 10 year plan, okay? But lean into that. What do you want? What do you want to manifest and create out of this 11th house? It's also the house of social media and putting yourself out there, especially if you're a business owner or a solo entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's time to utilize social media or get that website up and running or polished or whatever the case may be, or calling in people who can help you get your name, your image, whatever you want to call it, out there. 11th house is also networking. So rubbing shoulders with like-minded souls and individuals and people. It's the house that lights you up, lifts you up, supports you. So again, something to think about. If there's anything or anyone in your life, Gemini, that's not supporting you, and I'll let you fill in the blank, maybe it's time over the next couple years to transition away from that, or think about transitioning away from that, because I almost guarantee once you do that, more people will come into your existence. People that do support you and lift you up and light you up. So just food for thought, Gemini. So that's the tip of the kite. Now we got Pluto and Uranus on either side supporting it. So first let's talk about Uranus, because Uranus is in your sign for the next 7 years. Now, anything that happens in the first house technically ripples out to multiple areas of life, Gemini. So it really depends on how you want Uranus to help you with something, if that makes sense, that you're planting in 2025 or 2026. So I'll give you a simple example. Do you want to break out of a stagnant job, the corporate world, and do something different? Work on humanitarian efforts. I forgot to say that, I think. 11th house is humanitarian efforts. Anything to do with group, like a group movement. So do you want to break away from the corporate world and move into something new? Move into, again, something that you want, not what other people want, what you want. This is about you, Gemini. And Uranus is going to help you break out of it. Like whatever it is, whether it's a job, career, retirement, home, place of living, family, relationships, in love, in business, you fill in the blank. You can change your entire world, Gemini, because your Uranus is, trust me, Uranus is going to be shaking you up from the inside out. And I don't mean that scary doom and gloom, like, but no. No, I'm not doing that. I'm inspiring you to utilize this energy. But even if you sit back and you're like, no, I'm going to see what comes into my spider web, so to speak. I'm going to see what comes to me. You can do that too. Because I guarantee, like I said, consciously or unconsciously, seeds are being planted in 2025 and 2026 regardless. So that's the angle Uranus is going to bring in. Like first house is also about your physical appearance, your identity, the body, the health and well-being of the body. How are you taking care of the body? Your approach to life. Again, that all is going to be shaken and stirred, shake and bake, whatever you want to call it, Gemini. Yeah, you're up for some big change. If just looking at Uranus, you're up for some big change. So that's the other one side of the kite where you're being supported by Uranus in your sign. Now, Pluto up in your 9th house, Pluto's going to be here for a long, very long time. So like 19 years, 18 years, depending on when you're watching this. So Pluto will deconstruct slowly but surely this 9th house for you, Gemini. But he will be, again, supporting this energy in that 11th house that we talked about. And he's making a trine to Uranus and also your planet placements points, whatever you're watching for, Gemini. So 9th house, this is all about the higher power. What are your belief systems? So whether it's spiritual, religious, whatever, nonconformist, whatever you want to call it, that's the 9th house. It's the house of the gods or higher power or the light, whatever you want to call it. 9th house is also about practical stuff like law, the justice system, legal matters, paperwork, immigration, citizenship, things like that. This is the house of higher education and teaching. So like going back to school or, learning something new, or you becoming the teacher, the mentor, the coach, the elder, whatever you want to call it. This is also long distance trips and traveling. That's going to be very impactful for you, Gemini, over the next several years. Because again, Pluto's in here for a very long ass time. Ethics, belief systems are going to go through transformation. International matters, anything to do with foreign lands, foreign cultures, foreign shores, whatever you want to call it. It's reaching a higher, wider, bigger audience that we talked about in that 11th house as well. So you see the connection there. Pluto can even help you do that, right? If you want to put yourself out there, if you want to launch a business, if you want to get a presence online, if you want to teach online or whatever the case may be, all of this energy at the top of your sky and Uranus in your first house can help make it happen. So yeah, I'm trying to just connect the dots here for you, Gemini, just to throw out some examples. 9th house is also just in general, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. And that's where life is going to start for you, Gemini. And I think it's going to knock your socks off. you know, in a good way. I think you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised, if you just step outside that comfort zone of yours. And I don't care how old you are, how young you are, it doesn't matter with this energy. And apply this if you're working or not working, because if you're not working, it doesn't mean that you can't contribute to society. If anything, if you're not working, I highly encourage you to lean into groups and humanitarian efforts and associations and whatever you want to, whatever, Gemini. Because especially now, ever since Pluto moved into Aquarius, it's about doing things as a collective, doing things as like a big people movements, if that makes sense. That's kind of what they're showing me. It's not about being a solo, going alone anymore. It's about coming together as a group and changing the world, changing the city, the town, the place of living where you are right now. It's about like go big or go home. Quite literally for you, you could make it local, you could make it about local or international, Gemini. Okay, now to add another layer here. Sorry, I could have swore I missed something here, but maybe it'll come back to me. Anyway, sorry, I apologize. I could have swore I was going to say something else, but anyway, another layer here is Jupiter. Now, I'm not skipping over Jupiter in Cancer on purpose. This is just an activation point. I've made separate videos about Neptune and Aries, Saturn and Aries, Uranus and Gemini, Jupiter and Cancer. And at some point, I'll make a video about Jupiter in Leo, because this is not happening until middle of 2026. Also, I forgot to mention, Gemini, the right-hand side of the screen there, if you want to take a screenshot or pause the video and write down some notes, that's when all these planets ingress into new territory, back and forth, the retrograde period and moving permanently into new territory. Anyway, Jupiter in Leo, this is a trigger point. This is another trigger point creating a cradle in the sky. I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's like a basket on its side. So Jupiter will be bringing in an angle from the third house, Gemini. And you actually represent the third house. So you're very comfortable with third house energy. This is all about the mind, more so the lower mind, learning something new, tangible, skills, talents, and abilities that you can kind of relate to on a day-to-day basis. This is, again, an educational axis that's being lit up by Jupiter and Pluto. So this could be about going back to school, learning something new, or upgrading your skill set so you can become a more well-rounded individual. Or maybe this is about learning about technology, putting yourself out there from a technological standpoint as well, Gemini. So communications are covered in here. Transportation, how you get around, Gemini, is covered in here. This is also about siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, extended family members. Your local community could be layered into this, again, activation that's happening in 2025 and 2026. Third house is, you're going to hear me repeat myself here, social media, the internet. So you have kind of a double duo here that's emphasizing you about leaning into technology and new ways of reaching a higher, wider, bigger audience, either locally or globally. Gemini, you're one of the signs where you could go either or, okay? Because you're going to have both planets supporting you, and Jupiter rules the 9th house where Pluto is. So during this opposition year of 2026, I know I'm bouncing around, but there could be manifestation here across the educational axes. And yeah, third house, short distance traveling. But again, long distance or short distance travel, your local community or foreign lands, foreign shores is being highlighted here. So you could incorporate either or, Gemini. So I hope that kind of gives you something to think about, something to chew on, something to ponder, Gemini. Again, no hard, fast rules here. We got lots of time, 2025, 2026, even beyond. Because technically the kite is going to be hanging out for until at least 2028. You know, it's going to be hanging out for a long time. So time is on our side, and you don't even have to do anything with this energy. Like I mentioned, it's the seeds are being planted, things are being put into motion, but you are one of the signs though, Uranus in your sign. Oh yeah, you'll be taking action in multiple areas of life. You're one of the signs where Uranus in the first house, you definitely can't ignore that. And you definitely have to channel that jittery energy that's going to be coming in, because Uranus will be lighting you up from the inside out and encouraging you to break free of you fill in the blank. Whatever's not working in your life right now, Uranus is going to help you accelerate into the future and whatever it is that you want to create, Gemini. So enjoy, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Cancer, let's talk about the top of this kite formation and what areas of life are being activated. Now, your wealth and endings houses are being highlighted, Cancer, and I'll dive into what that means exactly. I don't mean endings like you roll over and you die. I'm not saying that, Cancer. I'll get into defining what endings, what the house of endings or areas of life of endings that I'm talking about here. So first I want to talk about the top of the kite, like the top of the sky here. And Cancer, I must say, this is happening in a very public part of your sky. Well, I mean, Uranus in the 12th house, I guess, is not exactly public, but if I'm looking at the horizon, you know, like you and Capricorn are the horizon in this chart, everything's at the top of your sky except Jupiter, right? So Cancer, depending on your age, and again, apply this to your life. So whether you're working, you're not working, whether you're 20 years old, 55 years old, 75 years old, whatever, okay? Apply this to your circumstance. But what I like about this, Cancer, is this tip top of the kite is in your 10th house. And the 10th house is all about career, status, reputation, the legacy that you want to leave behind, like what you want to be known for, Cancer. This is your public image, and status could be changing. So what I mean by status is, what are you known for? Is it your career? Is it that you raised a beautiful family? Is it, you know, some of you, if you're a prominent figure in your community, maybe you're going to let that go and maybe open your own bake shop or open your own, you fill in the blank, or lean into spirituality or whatever you want to do, Cancer, whatever you want to do. This is the status. I'm just giving you examples of, this is the time if you ever wanted to change what you're known for. This is big energy coming in with Saturn and Neptune coming together in your 10th house of literally status, career, your image, what you're known for. Now, the 10th house is also about your long-term commitments and goals. This is about your relationships to authority figures in your life. So this could be, this could be government and corporations and things like that, but this could also be your boss, or if you're the boss, Cancer, this could be about you. Relationships to your parents, your parental figures, your parental units, whoever raised you. Also your relationship to, well, you as a parent, Cancer. What am I thinking of? Yes, this is a parental access. So you as a parent, or how you relate to your parents if they are still with us. And this could even be relationships to grandparents as well. I'm going to even throw that in there as well. Again, I can appreciate though not everybody is still with us, but you get my drift. So this is where this seed of newness, something new, is being planted at the top of your sky, Cancer. So I'm just going to say it now if I haven't already said it. If you ever want to change your life, ever want to change your circumstances, 2025 is the year to start. But again, no rush, no pressure. You don't have to do anything with this energy, because regardless, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is a code, this is a blueprint, this is the thumbprint being imprinted on us, an energetic imprint being imprinted on us, whether we do something with this energy or not. Fated people, places, things are going to be coming into our life regardless, right? So again, use this energy however you feel called to do so. Now, let's talk about the other angles of the kite that are supporting this new energy at the top of your sky. So yes, let's start with Uranus, because this is also a good example of a house of endings. You know, so Pluto and Uranus are in your house of endings. or a house of endings. But Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter, once he moves into the second house, these are your houses of wealth. So Uranus in this 12th house is interesting. This is definitely awakenings. This is definitely paranormal experiences, spiritual experiences, Cancer. And I don't mean that to scare you. Like, again, I just ask you to lean into it. I think it could be really magical, actually, to have Uranus in the 12th house. You're going to get downloads and insights, and you're not going to have a clue where they come from. That's Uranus energy. But the 12th house is all about preparing for a brand new cycle. Again, endings and new beginnings. This is about letting things go once and for all, whether it's physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological, those energetic ties that we've been carrying with us, that you've been carrying, Cancer, for all these years. Uranus is going to help you sever and cut those ties once and for all and say, no, 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 no. We are starting a brand new cycle, Cancer, but it's Uranus's job to clean out your closets over the next 7 years. So it's not a quick transit, but it's definitely a transit that's going to electrify you and motivate you from the inside out to take action in at least one area of life, Cancer. 12th house is also about dreams and solitude and healing on multiple levels. Hidden gifts, talents, and abilities. So, you know, I do picture a lot of Cancerians. Maybe you don't even realize what you're going to lean into from a career standpoint, or from humanitarian efforts standpoint, or collective efforts. Again, however you want to contribute to society. I feel like there's going to be multiple, well, there will be multiple awakenings. And I feel like there's something hidden inside of you, Cancer, that will be woken up, like a gift will be woken up, and it will come to the surface over the next 7 years. Because again, long transit with Uranus in here. Now, on the other side of the kite, we have Pluto in your 8th house. So Pluto is going to be in here for a long, long, very long time. So 20 years. Depending on when you're watching this, 18 to 20 years, Pluto is going to be here. So 8th house is Pluto's domain. Pluto functions very well in the 8th house. 8th house is similar to the 12th house. It's deep, intense psychological change. It is the house of death and rebirth. That's why it's called an endings, a house of endings, because it's kind of like the same thing in the 12th house. You're cleaning yourself out, but also from a psychological standpoint. But it could also be physical, like purging, getting rid of assets, resources, joint finances, things like that. So it could be psychological, but also tangible material possessions are going to be going through transformational change as well, Cancer. This is also the house of big life change. So it does ripple out to multiple areas of life, or it could. But again, Pluto is supporting this change, the top of your kite here. 8th house is also mundane stuff like debts, taxes, loans. What is that saying? There's 2 things guaranteed in this life: death and taxes. So that's where this 8th house energy comes in, Cancer, as well. But this is also about shared resources and finances. So your partner, if you are connected to a partner, whether in business or in love, your partner's finances and resources are going to go through a big transformation. Huge, because this is the 8th house. So this is other people's money, how money comes to you, Cancer. That's going to change. Shared property, shared assets, shared bank accounts, shared mortgages, shared debts, shared loans, shared whatever. And if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't have a business partner, I'm not in a relationship, again, that might change. I'm just going to put that out there because Pluto's in here for 20 years and there's a lesson here. Like, Pluto's deconstructing this area of life for a reason. This is also the house of inheritance as well, wills. So, I mean, that might be coming to the forefront over the next, again, this is like 20 years though. But there's something here that Pluto wants to strip you down to make sure you're being your authentic self from a financial standpoint. And he's also going to make sure your partner is being true and authentic when it comes to a shared piggy bank perspective as well, Cancer. So kind of a heavy house. You got dualities here. Uranus and Pluto work differently, and they're both like literally cleaning out the closets spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and then Pluto is physically, like physically purging and getting rid of material possessions and property and joint assets and things like that, Cancer. So I hope that kind of gives you some ideas of what you could incorporate over the next couple years if you want to with these changes. Now, to throw another wrench into this, or another layer, I should say, is Jupiter. Now, yes, Jupiter is coming into your sign this year. I'm skipping over that for a reason because, first of all, I made a separate video about this. I'll be releasing that closer to the middle of 2025, Jupiter in your sign. But Jupiter in Leo is when he's going to activate this basket or this cradle formation. It's kind of getting upside down by the time I get to you, because you can kind of see the basket is almost turning upside down, or the cradle, I should say. I'm calling it a basket. It's a cradle, like a cradle of life. So Jupiter being in a wealth house and opposing Pluto, but making beautiful aspects to your career sector and to Uranus. So Jupiter is going to add in another layer here. So you're probably asking, okay, so what layer? Well, I might repeat myself here. Second house is about work. We talked about that. 10th house energy, work, career, reputation, status. Second house is also work. So Jupiter will be expanding you on the work front. Again, apply this to your life if you don't work. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? What are you known for? We went through all that. Jupiter in the second house is about money, finances, and resources. So we talked about Pluto, but now that's the 8th house though. That's how money comes to you from other sources. The government, alimony, partner, wife, husband, I don't know, whoever supports you, Second house is more about you and putting yourself out there and how you personally earn a living. You know, is there a side hustle? Is there, and again, for some of you, this isn't, you know, I get it. Some of you are retired and none of this applies to you. I get that. But again, how does money come to you? That is definitely going to be up for some change throughout 2026 and beyond. Okay. So, but the second house is also about material possessions. So Jupiter in here might make you buy more. And then Pluto on the other side is going to be like, well, no, you need to downsize and get rid of shit. So you see how these houses are kind of connected. They're trying to expand you. They're trying to create the life that you want. They're supporting you in that, Cancer. But then there's other planets like Pluto and Uranus that are kind of working behind the scenes. You may notice that, you may not actually, because the 8th house and the 12th house doesn't make any aspects to you, Cancer. So some of you might not even feel this unless it's making aspects to your personal birth chart. But you have Saturn and Neptune and Jupiter working with you on a work front, on a career front, on a business front. They want to expand you and create something in these areas of wealth at the end of the day. So Cancer, and did I mention, yeah, I have all the dates on the right-hand side of the screen here. This is when all the ingresses happen, like Neptune, Saturn moves into Aries, Uranus into Gemini, blah, 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 blah. So I have that all on the right-hand side if you want to take a screenshot or if you want to pause the video and write these down. Anyway, Cancer, I hope that kind of helps you lean into this more, better understand the areas of life that these big energies are coming into. And again, whether you want to take advantage of this or not, that's okay. I'm not here to tell you what to do. It's just for those of you that are kind of called to do something and lean into something, maybe it's time. You know, maybe it's time. Also, I think I forgot to mention the 8th house is about shadow, intimacy, fear, power, control as well, Cancer. Because I'm thinking some of you might get into like psychological work, like therapy, counseling, working in the spiritual realm, because the 8th house is also very taboo. It's about doing things that are not normal per se, you know, like tarot, astrology, spirituality, mediumship, angels, spirits, guides, like leaning into that kind of stuff as well, Cancer. So you can take this as a literal route, but also a metaphysical route as well, if that helps. Anyway, Cancer, hopefully that helped. We will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Leo, let's talk about this kite formation and what areas of life are going to be activated for you in 2025, 2026, and well beyond, Leo. So your life and your social and your relationship houses are going to be activated with this kite formation and this cradle formation, which we'll get into. So let's break this down. I first want to start with Saturn and Neptune at the top of your sky. Also, Leo, this isn't a very public part of your sky. So see, the horizon there is between you and Aquarius, and this is so-called the public. You know, it's not in the belly of the chart. It's very public. So Leo, for those of you that want to go big or go home, put yourself out there, change the world, change other people's lives, like be in the spotlight, Hollywood, Bollywood, whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm inspiring you, literally, you can reach for the stars with this energy, Leo. I think there's going to be a lot of Leos out there that are going to become very well known. And I don't mean all of you are going to be movie stars. That's not what I mean. I'm thinking more so like humanitarian efforts, collective efforts, being the leader, being the light, shining from that heart chakra. That's kind of what I'm leaning into. But for those of you that want to be like rock stars and stuff like that, sure, you could do that too. I'm not judging you, Leo. Okay. I'm a Leo sun here. So I get it. I get it. But like, I'm trying to be polite here, but I'm thinking bigger than that. Okay. Like bigger than that, like, big movements on the planet, you know. Anyway, Leo, I'll get off my soapbox here. So first, let's talk about this 9th house. This is the top of the kite. Okay. Again, very public area of your chart. So 9th house is the house of the gods. So that's why I say you can reach for the stars with this transit, quite literally. Spirituality, whatever your religious belief systems are, this is the 9th house. The 9th house is also tangible stuff, right? So the legal system, the justice system, paperwork, citizenship, passports, immigration, things like that, Leo. 9th house is higher education. So like going back to school, learning something new, learning something fresh. Or this could be about you becoming the teacher, the mentor, the professor, the coach, whatever you want, the elder, like whatever you want, Leo, in this 9th house. Anything to do with foreign lands, foreign cultures. Long distance traveling and trips, I think, could also be eye-opening for you, Leo, as well. Casting a higher, wider net. Uranus is also supporting you too in that 11th house. This is pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone. This is, again, going big, thinking big, like, what do you have to lose type of energy. Now, with that said, though, Leo, I don't want you to, you know, bet the farm, but metaphorically speaking, like lean into it. Like, what do you have to lose? Have that sort of mentality about you, but I don't mean literal. I hope that kind of makes sense. So that's where a seed is being planted, Leo, consciously or unconsciously in 2025 and 2026. Now, let's talk about the other sides of the kite. This is where you're getting support, additional support from Pluto and Uranus, which again is very rare. So Uranus in this 11th house is all about networking, social circles, again, reaching a higher, wider audience, just like the 9th house there. 11th house is older siblings, if you do have older siblings, and if that resonates with you. Friendship circles, groups, unions, professional affiliations, personal affiliations, people that you surround yourself with, groups that you belong to by choice, or maybe not by choice. It's about your community. It's about your role in these groups and associations and affiliations as well. This is the house of the future, where Uranus is going to be shaking up for 7 years. This is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term commitments. Again, big future dreams and goals. What is your 5-year plan, 10-year plan? I'm not saying you have to do that, but for those of you that are interested in that, that's what Uranus is here to do. He's also going to shake it up, by the way. So for those of you that already like have a plan and you're saying to yourself, no, I got my 5-year plan and my 10-year plan and blah, 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 that's probably going to change. I'm just going to throw it out there because Uranus coming in here, he hasn't even started his transformation in this 11th house and shaking and rattling and rolling in this 11th house. But anyway, also 11th house with Uranus in here can bring in an angle of like big technological advances and using AI and things like that, science and breakthroughs and things like that, Leo. So that's the angle that Uranus is going to support you with. Now, Pluto on the other side of this kite formation is in your relationship sector, Leo. Now, yes, Pluto's in here for a long stay, but for now, he's supporting this change mechanism. This, like, again, top of the kite, top of the little rocket ship, however you want to think about it, Leo. So Pluto is supporting you from a angle of bringing in contracts, agreements, negotiations, marriage that will be monumental to this change, that will be part of this change, part of this movement, if that makes sense. Transformational experiences is what Pluto will be bringing in for you over many, many, many years. But again, just looking at this snapshot of time, he's supporting this. So bringing in the right people, places, and things to help you with this, you fill in the blank, whatever you want to move forward with. So Pluto will deconstruct what you think is the proper relationship, or what you think of when I say relationship. Pluto's going to strip you raw, Leo. I don't mean that in a doom and gloom way, but he's going to strip you down to your true, authentic self of what you think of when I say relationship. Love, business, friendship circles, again, whoever you relate to. You know, it's not just about love. It's about business. It's about work colleagues. It's about your relationships with family, with friends, anybody you have a connection with one-on-one. Pluto's going to deconstruct that for you, if that makes sense. But, you know, peel you down to your core. What is a true, authentic relationship for you, Leo? And he will be bringing in those people. You'll also be attracting very powerful partnerships to you too, Leo, over the next 20 years. And again, marriage, marital. This is a marital house, Leo. So for those of you that are single, I don't think you'll be single by the end of this transit. But again, it's a 20-year transit. So, you know, I know that's pretty general, you know, to say that. But it is a marital house. So your life could be totally transformed by a marital situation as well, Leo. Okay, so that's the top of the kite. Now, to add in another angle, another layer, is when Jupiter moves into your sign. And I'm really skipping ahead here. I'm not degrading Jupiter in Cancer because that's going to be a beautiful transit for each and every one of us. I made a separate video about that. I'll be releasing these throughout early 2025, so stay tuned. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead. Middle of 2026, we have Jupiter moving into your sign. That's going to create an opposition to Pluto and beneficial aspects to all of these kites, the kite formation, all of these planets that are involved in the kite. There we go. And by the time it gets, you know, now it's going to be like an upside down basket, an upside down cradle sitting in your sky, Leo. Now Jupiter is going to be expanding in your first house. So first house is really anything about you, anything you want this to be, because the first house can bleed into the career, the home life, the living situation, buying, selling a property, expanding on the home front, having kids, if you want, and partnerships. So Leo, Also, this might have something to do with the health and well-being of your body, with the Jupiter adding in this additional layer here, how you're taking care of yourself. Maybe you want to change something about your physical appearance. Again, this really layers up to what lights you up, what brings you joy, what brings you that passion angle, and what do you want to do, whether you're working or not working. I think I forgot to say that. Like, how do you want to utilize this energy, whether you're retired or working, or you haven't even started working yet? How do you want to utilize this energy? So Jupiter's just going to expand you, and you're going to feel this, Leo. And Jupiter's also going to bring in opportunity from a financial angle, but also from a passion, joy perspective, like what lights you up from the inside out, and run with it type of energy. So Leo, also, I think I forgot to mention the right-hand side of the screen here. I have all the ingresses listed. So Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Uranus and Gemini, the Pluto, or not Pluto, Jupiter dates, things like that. So if you want to take a screenshot, snapshot, or pause the video, take notes, whatever you want to, however you want to utilize this, Leo. Now, I'm not saying, again, these are hard, fast rules. I'm not saying you have to do anything with this energy, because again, they're showing me clear as a bell. These activations are happening whether we utilize them or not. Unconsciously, there's something being planted in 2025, Leo. And I'm just saying, because it's so public in your sky, man, this would be the opportunity, Leo, if you ever wanted to put yourself on the map, if you ever wanted to, like, I don't know, make big global shifts, big changes in people's lives, this would be it. This would be the transit to take advantage of. And there's no need to rush, because there's loads of time. 2025, 2026, and even beyond. Okay, so don't think that you got to figure something out in a month. No, this energy will stand the test of time, and there'll constantly be adjustments. This is not going to be perfect. I should have maybe said that in the beginning of the video. This is not a cakewalk. Okay, this is, you got to put in the work. These are opportunity aspects. They're not automatic. So it's up to us whether we want to utilize the energy or not, or sit back and kind of just see what happens, which is totally fine too. I'm not here to judge. Not here to judge, Leo. But anyway, hopefully some of that resonated with you and kind of gave you some nuggets of information to think about, to chew on, whatever you want to call it, incorporate into your business. If you do have a business, run a business, own a business, just something to think about, you know. And I'm also, for some of you, I'm getting this message, like, meditate on this and you'll get your own messages. That's what they're saying. So for those of you into that, like, get quiet, get still, and you'll hear your own nudges with this kite energy, Leo. All right, Leo, I hope this resonated in some small or large way, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Virgo, let's talk about this kite formation and what areas of life are being activated over the next several years. So Virgo, your wealth houses and your houses of endings are being activated during this transit, or this very extended long transit. So I'll dive into what exactly that means. Also, another thing I want to kind of point out here, Virgo, is a lot of this energy is at the top of your sky. So what that also tells me is this is a very public sort of transit for you, like out in the open public eye. It's not so much about preparing for something behind closed doors. I mean, yes, Pluto is below the horizon, but the rest of the planets are above the horizon. So I'm thinking for some of you, again, this isn't for all of you, depending on how you want to utilize this energy, or if you even want to utilize this energy, which that's okay too. This is about big life changes. You know, and speaking of that, that's where the seed is being planted. That's where the top of the kite is. So your Aries area of life, that's where this conjunction, this is just the beginning of something big, Virgo. So let's break this down. Also, before I forget, the right-hand side of the screen there, if you want to take a snapshot or pause the video and write these down, this is when the ingresses are happening. So like Neptune, Saturn into Aries, Uranus into Gemini, Jupiter into Cancer and Leo. I'm not going to go line by line, but I mean, they're there just for you to understand that this timeline is not one and done. It's not, okay, you only have 30 days to incorporate something new. No, this is like a 2 to 10 year transit, Virgo. It's just that 2025, there's something about this year that obviously this formation is going to be more exact, whereas as the time moves on, the planetary aspects are going to start moving away from each other. So it doesn't mean the energy is not there though. So let's talk about your Aries house and break this down. Because again, this is where a new beginning is starting. This is where a new seed is being planted, either subconsciously or consciously. 8th house is, as I mentioned, big life themes, big life shifts and changes and pivots. It is the house of endings, of death, of rebirth, of transformation. But I want to be clear, Virgo, I'm not predicting your death. Okay? So I'm not saying, oh, you're going to die, you're preparing for your death. No, like this is just what this house is called. These are just the houses that are being activated. And by the way, your wealth houses are being activated by Pluto and Uranus. So I just want to throw that out there. 8th house is also about the mundane stuff. So what do they say you can't escape in this lifetime is death and taxes. Okay, yes, I'm saying death again, metaphorically. But the 8th house is taxes, debts, loans, mortgages, you know, all that heavy stuff, right? But I mean, without these things, we wouldn't be able to get what we want, right? Like a mortgage, a car loan, a boat loan, a loan for a trip, you know, things like that. If we didn't have the 8th house, it would take us years to save up cash to pay, what, $1 million for a house? Like, I don't know about you, but I don't have that in my back pocket to go buy property. And if you do, good for you, Virgo, good for you. You clearly had a 5, 10, 15-year plan way back. Or maybe you inherited, you know, speaking of that, 8th house is inheritance as well, wills. That could be coming up to the forefront over the next several years as well. 8th house is about what you share with another person. So property, finances, resources, piggy banks, bank accounts, debts, loans, mortgages, anything that you share with another person. Also, Virgo, if you are in a relationship right now, or maybe even if you're not in a relationship, this is about cohabiting with someone, sharing those resources and finances with someone. Also, this is about their money, their income, how they earn a living. So if you're with someone now, this could maybe be about them versus about you. I mean, this is still about you though, Virgo, because this is clearly hitting your birth chart in this way. But if you are with a business partner, or anyone you're in bed with literally, or from a business standpoint or financial standpoint or family, friends, whoever, this could be about them as well, or they are going to be involved with this new beginning, if that makes sense. And again, if you're saying to yourself, nope, Cece, I am on my own, I don't have a partner, not in love, not in business, not in family, not nobody. Well, then maybe somebody will be coming in. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like maybe somebody will be coming in and you're going to, again, join those resources. Maybe that's part of this new beginning in the lesson. Or for some of you, with this energy coming out of your 7th house into the 8th house, maybe this is about separation of assets, going through a divorce, going through a business, dissolving a business, selling property, real estate, whatever. So again, apply this to your circumstances, Virgo, whether you're working, not working, whether you're in a relationship, not a relationship, apply this to your circumstances. By the way, I'm not saying, for those of you that are happily married or happily in a business partnership, I'm not saying that's going away. I just want to be clear, okay? This is going to play out differently for everyone, but this is just where something is being planted. 8th house is also subconscious, psychological. This is about the shadow, behind the scenes, kind of like the 12th house that we're going to talk about here. There's a connection here to the 8th house to the 12th house because they're both the house of endings. But again, what comes after an ending? A new beginning. Now let's talk about the angles of this kite. So we'll start with Uranus. Uranus at the top of your sky in your 10th house. This is where Uranus is going to bring in this support. This is a wealth house for you, Virgo. So career, reputation, whether you're working or not working. So please apply this to your circumstances. It could ripple into retirement, because if this is your MC, your IC is in Sag. This could be you moving into retirement in the next 7 years, or you setting yourself up for retirement, whatever that means for you. But this is a 7-year transit. I'm just talking about this moment in time in the next couple years. So career, status, reputation, your public image that we mentioned, that I talked about, your long-term commitments and goals. It's about the legacy that you want to leave behind. Again, ties into wills, inheritance, money, shared assets, shared property, things like that. It's your relationship to authority figures. So bosses, the government, the legal system, the justice system, corporations, or if you own a business, run a business, this could be about you and your image changing as a boss, as a leader. Also relationship to your parents, your grandparents, if they're still with us. Or you as a parent, Virgo, is going to take on actually a Uranian feel over the next 7 years. There's something here that's going to shake up, bump up your, I know I just heard vibration, but also your parenting style. There we go. Eventually it spits out. So Virgo, this is what Uranus is going to be bringing to this new beginning, that angle from your career sector, so to speak. Now, Pluto, newly in your 6th house, which you know all about the 6th house, Virgo. You technically kind of have the same vibration of the 6th house, or you rule the 6th house. So this is all about day-to-day duty and responsibility. Pluto's going to be deconstructing this area of life for the next 20 years. So slow and steady wins the race with Pluto here in your 6th house. But anyway, duty, responsibility, day-to-day activities, your diet, your health, your routines. Pets and animals are also in here as well. This is the area of life that rules the workplace. The workplace, the atmosphere, your coworkers, your, again, work. It's a work house. This is the house of service and being of service. So again, whether you're working or not working, how are you being of service, Virgo? So you fill in the blank there. I do encourage you, by the way, if you're not working, I do encourage you to lean into humanitarian efforts. We're really coming into this age and time where collective movements and joining with like-minded people is going to be huge. It's not a time anymore to go solo. It's about making those networking and those commitments to other people and groups and associations and affiliations. Pluto in Aquarius is really going to focus in on that. And well, Pluto actually will try to divide that, but I'm encouraging folks just lean into group efforts if you're not working, because I think that's where the power is. The power is with the people, not so much in the solo hands of, like, the power being in one human's hands, for example, or one country's hands, so to speak, or the leader of those countries' hands, right? So I just encourage you, if you're not working, just lean into stuff like that if you feel called to. I'm not here to force anyone's hands, by the way. So Virgo, I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what this kite is sort of asking you to lean into, what I'm asking you to lean into. Also, for those of you, they're showing me, if you're interested, meditate on this and you're going to get your own downloads. They're telling me that loud and clear. So you do you, Virgo. Now, to add in another layer here, Jupiter. Now, I'm purposely skipping over Jupiter in Cancer. I made a separate video about that, by the way, so stay tuned, subscribe. I'll release these videos throughout early 2025, but I'm going to skip ahead to middle of 2026 when Jupiter hops into Leo, your 12th house. another house of endings. But this is now going to create like a cradle. And for you, this is almost like literally a dumping out aspect because the basket is upside down. The cradle is upside down. So I heard for you, dump out. Again, you have two areas of life of endings being lit up here. So Virgo, another angle, I'll take this as, you know, you're preparing for something new, something big. This is about purging. Well, Pluto's about purging, you know, purging what you do for work, which you do, whatever your 9 to 5 is, Pluto's going to deconstruct that and probably change that and strip you down to your true authentic self and what you want to do. When I say work, being of service, how do you want to be of service? So Jupiter is kind of doing that as well in the 12th house. He's asking you to let go of crap that you don't need to carry with you in a new cycle. So this aspect is actually preparing you for when Jupiter comes into your sign. And that's in 2027. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. But for you, this is about, yeah, just purging mentally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. Jupiter is going to also bring in healing in this 12th house. And so will Pluto. You know, Pluto's also you know, he has the power to destroy and heal kind of at the same time. So, and Pluto's also sitting in a health house for you, Virgo. So for those of you that are still struggling with health, help is on the way. It's just that it's going to take some time. Okay. Nothing happens overnight. I just went through this transit myself, Pluto in my 6th house. So it does, trust me, it does not happen overnight. You're just scratching the surface on something. And the right practitioners, the right people, places, things will come into your life. Like I can rest assured, I can almost guarantee that if this is your true 6th house, Virgo. Jupiter is also going to help you through spiritual awakenings and also healing. Like I said, you're kind of getting a dual aspect with healing here with Jupiter and Pluto. And solitude. If you need to step away, if you need to step out of the spotlight, Jupiter will help you with that too. Jupiter will help with bringing forward your hidden gifts, talents, abilities in some way, shape, or form, if you believe in that. This is the invisible realm. Jupiter might make it extremely known in the 12th house when it comes to spiritual experiences, paranormal, things like that. Things might really come to the surface. Sign, symbol, synchronicity with Jupiter in the 12th house. It's a gift. It's a blessing with Jupiter in the 12th house. It'll also protect you 2026 and into 2027 as well. But Jupiter is going to add in his own layer to this cradle of life, I'm calling it, or the kite, whatever you want. Again, however you want to layer this into your experience, Virgo. So hopefully this kind of gave you an idea. Hopefully something resonated with you where you can take that with it. You can take that now and run with it. And keep in mind, again, there's a seed being planted. It isn't a financial house, but again, like I mentioned, it's also about endings and cutting those ties, severing those energetic cords, purging and moving on to something brand spanking new, Virgo. All right. So I hope that helped. And we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Libra, let's talk about this kite formation and cradle formation that will be happening for each and every one of us over the next couple of years. So Libra, let's start at the top of the kite here, which is, I find really interesting for you because this is in your 7th house. So this is your jam, Libra. This is your jam. But let me back up here for just a quick second. These activations are happening in what is called life, areas of life houses, and also social and relationship houses as well. So we'll break this down, but that's just where my eyeballs went right away, is like, look at that. It's happening in the house of Libra. So you represent, or you have a connection to that 7th house. And this is where this new beginning is being seeded in 2025, 2026, consciously or unconsciously, Libra. So again, I hope you watched the beginning part of the video. I'm not telling you you have to do this. I'm not telling you you have to utilize this energy. it's going to happen regardless or not, they're kind of showing me. But this is for those of you that want to take that leap of faith and move into something new. And again, you fill in the blank, and also apply this to your circumstance, whether you're working or not working, or whatever age bracket you are, it doesn't matter, because we can all start something new, and it doesn't matter of our age, and it doesn't matter of the circumstances. And if you say, but, you're the one throwing up those walls, Libra. Not to pick on you. So we'll break this down. And again, hopefully this resonates with you in some small or large way. So it all starts in your 7th house. So again, contracts, agreements, negotiations, commitments to another person. So yeah, this is a house of marriage, but I can also appreciate not all of you are looking to make that commitment with someone, but maybe some of you are. With Saturn in here, it's hard to ignore that some Librans won't get married over the next 3 years or so. But again, I want to take it bigger, okay? Because yes, marriage comes and marriage goes. People come and people go in our lives. But my encouragement is take this bigger. So on your 5-year plan, if you're like, okay, I want to get married. Okay, but I'm asking you to take it higher than that. Go bigger than that. It's like go big or go home with this energy, Libra. But anyway, like I said, you utilize this energy however you want to. But this is about connecting with other people. Business, love, friends, family. It's whoever you're in bed with, literally or metaphorically speaking, Libra. So that's where sort of this new beginning is starting, is extra oomph, extra importance on how you connect with other people, your relationship to other people, and that connection or commitment that you have with these possibly even groups of people, which we'll get into with Jupiter in Leo here. So that's where it starts. That's where a seed is being planted. Now, Uranus and Pluto are bringing in separate angles here to support this new beginning that's kind of starting in this 7th house of relationships, Libra. Let's start with Pluto. Pluto will be deconstructing your 5th house over the next 20 years. So yes, this is a long transit, but he's just at the beginning stages of, again, supporting this new beginning and then carrying through with transforming your 5th house and, again, bringing in your true, authentic, you fill in the blank when it comes to this 5th house. So we'll go through that right now. 5th house, children. For those of you looking to start a family, have a family, whatever the case may be, that could be a possibility with Pluto in here. Now, if that doesn't resonate, maybe some of you are going to be having grandchildren, and there'll be some sort of, actually, for those of you that are going to have grandkids over the next 20 years or so, there's definitely going to be a karmic connection between you and your grandchildren, which I think is actually really beautiful. So that could be part of this new beginning, or children in general could be part of this new beginning. And maybe it doesn't even mean about you having kids, but maybe it's about working with children, working with young people, or even teenagers for that matter, Libra. 5th house is also about love affairs and romance and dating. So definitely Pluto in here, if you are single, could bring in that relationship, or if you've been dating and dating and dating and dating and you're like, I have not yet found the one, Pluto in here could, well, and again, with Saturn combined, can definitely bring in a more serious committed partnership. But Saturn and Pluto are heavy hitters, and they're also very karmic. I could go down the rabbit hole and make a whole video just about that. But the people, places, things that are coming into your life now, Libra, or over the next 5 to 10 years, well, beyond with Pluto, it's just going to be, they're coming onto your path for a reason. People, places, and things. And there's going to be karma tied to them. I can't say if it's good or bad, because again, I would need to see your personal birth chart, and I would need to lean into your energy to feel that. But that's kind of what they're showing me, is there's a bigger reason for this 5th house energy that's coming up that Pluto's bringing in. Now, if none of that resonates, if kids don't resonate with you, Libra, this would be about your creativity, your self-expression, your joy, what lights you up, what lifts you up. This is about hobbies. So when you're in school and the teacher asks you, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to be for the rest of your life? That's the 5th house. So I want to be a teacher. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be, you know, again, you fill in the blank. So Pluto again here is asking you to get authentic. Well, he'll be stripping you regardless because he might ask you, but then he's just going to show you. And he's going to peel you like an onion over the next 20 years in this area of life. But again, he's helping support this seed that's being planted from this 5th house and incorporating that into your 7th house, if that makes sense. Now, Uranus is on the other side of this kite. I don't know. I think I was supposed to say couch. I don't know why I was going to say couch. On the other side of this kite, Libra. And this is happening in your 9th house. So this is beautiful energy coming in. Also, by the way, this is like making a big grand air trine to your energies, Libra. So I do love this for you as well over the next, again, 2 years. 2 to 10 years you have this energy, which is amazing. 9th house, Uranus, all about religion and spirituality. Again, you fill in the blank. You know, God, source, the light, the universe, whatever. This is the house of the gods. This is inspiration coming from you don't know where, coming from another source or another galaxy or another universe. I don't want to get too out there on you, Libra, but that's what Uranus at the top of the sky can bring in. 9th house is also about the legal system, the justice system, paperwork, immigration, citizenship, visas, things like that, passports. 9th house is also about higher education. So leaning into learning something new, or maybe you becoming the teacher, the professor, the mentor, the elder, the coach, whatever the case may be, and you passing down your knowledge. This could also be channeling, Libra, if you're interested in that. Anything to do with foreign lands, foreign cultures. This is about casting a big wide net. Jupiter is also supporting you with this as well. So for those of you, again, that want to launch a business, utilize this energy, work with people, work with humans, work with children, work with, you know, marriage counseling, like whatever, you fill in the blank, whatever you want to be. You know, again, what do you want to be when you grow up, Libra? And I don't care what age, again, no excuses, Libra. For some reason, I'm hearing that with your sign. So if you, some of you must be saying that to yourself, like, but, that's all I'm hearing. Libra, stop it. Stop it. It doesn't matter what age you're is. So you are. So fill in the blank. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? How do you want to utilize this energy? Anyway, I don't want to preach about that, but for you, wow, I'm hearing that loud and clear. Some of you are like, no, but, no, but, no, but. Anyway, 9th house is long distance traveling, long distance trips. Again, foreign lands, foreign cultures. I think you're going to have very magical experiences, let's call it, if you are interested in traveling the globe or if you're able to do so. Ethics system, belief systems are going to go through some changes with Uranus up here. 7-year transit, so don't get uncomfortable, Libra, like, or don't get upset with me saying that. It's Uranus up here. It'll transform what your belief systems are. Also, dealing with people from all over the globe. And also Uranus here is going to ask you, nudge you into pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Because I feel like for you, Libra, this is where life is just going to begin. When Uranus hops in here and asks you to step outside of that comfort zone. Easier said than done. I can appreciate that. So Libra, that's where the energies are coming together in these houses of life and self-expression and social and relationships. Now, to add in another layer, I'm going to skip to Jupiter. And yes, I'm skipping ahead Jupiter through Cancer. I made separate videos about this, you guys. So stay tuned. I'll be releasing those throughout early 2025. But I'm going to skip ahead to Jupiter in Leo for just a second, because this is when he creates the cradle of life in your birth chart or in your business chart or whatever you're watching for. So he's then going to expand on these ideas or the seeds that you planted, or bring in another layer to this story that's unfolding in your life. So 11th house is older siblings, if you do have older siblings. This is also the house of gains. You always want Jupiter coming in and lining your pockets there, Libra. So this is your house of gains, usually from a career, or again, if you're not working, how does money flow to you or get into your pockets? How do you pay your bills, the taxes, food on the table, things like that. Friendship circles, unions, professional associations, friendship circles, personal associations, affiliations that you surround yourself with. So Jupiter will be expanding in this area of life. Again, not until middle of 2026, okay? Because I'm jumping ahead here. Also, 11th house is, again, reaching a higher, wider audience, Libra. This is networking. This is social media. This is the internet. This is putting yourself out there. And again, you fill in the blank. Whatever you want to do, reach for the stars here, Libra. Quite literally with Uranus in that 9th house, this could take you to the outer realms, my friends. For those of you dabbling in the metaphysical stuff, this could be like a rocket ship, okay, towards the stars. This is just such incredible energy for you, Libra. 11th house, back to Jupiter. This is about the future. This is the house of the future, your goals, your commitments. It's what supports you, what is lighting you up? What is the story you want to share, Libra? So that's the angle Jupiter is going to bring in. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, these are the ingresses. So Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, Jupiter in Cancer and Leo. If you want to take a screenshot, a snapshot, if you want to write these down, pause the video. But otherwise, Libra, utilize this energy however you see fit. Because like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, these seeds of intention are being planted unconsciously and consciously. So regardless this is happening, regardless this is like a train that's moving forward that none of us can stop. This is not doom and gloom. It is what it is. It's a stamp, it's a blueprint, it's a code in our birth charts, in our business charts, whatever you want to call it, to take this energy to the next level if we choose to. Or again, you can sit back and see how this unfolds in your life as well, Libra. So again, I'm not putting pressure on you to do something. It's just, I ask you to lean into this with curiosity, and hopefully at least one of those things I mentioned possibly resonates with you. Otherwise, Libra, we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Scorpio, let's talk about this top of the kite formation and the cradle formation that will be forming for all of us in 2025 and 2026. And obviously this energy is going to take us beyond Scorpio. Right-hand side of the screen, if you wanted to take a screenshot, a snapshot, if you wanted to pause the video, this is where I have all the dates listed of ingresses. So when Saturn and Neptune move into Aries, when Uranus moves into Gemini, when Jupiter moves into Cancer and Leo. So I'm not going to go line by line, but I will break this down slowly but surely. So Scorpio, let's start with the top of the kite here. So you're in these particular areas of life, your wealth houses are being activated, and also your houses of endings are being activated as well. And I'll break these down. I'm not saying you're going to die, Scorpio, by the way, so please don't take it that way. But we'll break this down. But the focus here, where a seed is being planted, is in your Aries house, where Saturn and Neptune are. So this is your 6th house. This is a very busy day-to-day duty and responsibility house. It's the house of being of service. Another thing, apply this to your circumstance, Scorpio. So whether you're working or not working, whether you work for someone, you're a business owner, you're a stay-at-home parent, it doesn't matter. These seeds of intention are being planted in this area of life, and then we're going to get into the supporting aspects here of Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto as well. So Scorpio, something is being planted here in your house of how can you be of service? And then you fill in the blank. If you ever wanted to change your career, your work, whatever it is, plan for retirement, move into humanitarian efforts, move into, you fill in the blank. This is the year to at least start, Scorpio, because these are the aspects of we can all completely change our lives, basically. So 6th house is also about your health and well-being anything to do with diet, dietary restrictions, anything we put into our body, nutrition, things like that. Sixth house is also about animals and pets, if that resonates with you. Habits, routines. This is the workplace as well, Scorpio, the atmosphere in the workplace, your co-workers, if you own a business, run a business. This is also people that work for you and with you. If you have rental properties or rental buildings or rent out anything, the sixth house also covers that off as well. And just day-to-day duty and responsibility, Scorpio. So there's something here that's being planted and is up for some change, if that's what you want it to be, Scorpio. Again, you utilize this energy however you see fit. Now, the supporting angles here are aspects. Let's start with Uranus. Uranus being in the 8th house, which is a house of endings, but it's also a financial house as well. This is psychological matters. This is big life themes, big life changes. The 8th house is actually connected to you, Scorpio, because Scorpio has a connection here with the 8th house, same with Pluto. Your modern ruler, and Mars, your traditional ruler, lies in the 8th house energy here. So you out of all signs actually are pretty familiar with this energy. So deep psychological change, deep healing on multiple dimensions, multiple levels. This is about death and rebirth. I don't mean literally, but take it as transforming something, transmuting something into something new. This is about purging. This is about letting shit go, Scorpio, once and for all, so you don't need to carry this with you in the future any longer. This is about mundane day-to-day stuff. So taxes, debts, loans, mortgages, shared finances, shared resources, property. This is also inheritance. This is also the house of the shadow, more so your shadow, Scorpio. Deep intimacy also lies in the 8th house, and fear, power, and control. Now, this is also about, as I mentioned, your partner's finances, your partner's resources, anything that you share with another person, whether this is in business, whether this is with a family member, a relative, a cousin, a sibling, or a love relationship. It could be, you know, you're literally in bed with this person, or metaphorically you're in bed with this person. So it could be their finances and resources could probably be up for some change as well, Scorpio, over the next 7 years. But again, I'm just throwing out examples of ways Uranus is supporting this change or this initiation or this fresh new beginning that's coming into your 6th house energy. Now let's go on the other side of the kite, where Pluto is sitting in your 4th house of family, home, your place of living. This is about security and the past, the ancestry, where you came from, your place of birth, your place of living, whatever you want to call it. This is also retirement as well, Scorpio. So whether you're retired or not, what are your thoughts of retirement or planning for the future? This is a parental axis, Scorpio. So you will actually take on Plutonian themes as a parent yourself. So the way you parent is definitely going to go through some changes, some radical transformational changes, but they're going to be very slow. This is a 20-year transit, Scorpio. Also, your place of living probably will go through some big changes and shifts as well. But again, this is a 20-year transit, my friends. So I'm not saying you're going to be moving and you're going to become a parent within 60 days. No, that's not how this energy works. I'm just saying Pluto is supporting this from the bottom of your sky, from your 4th house into your 6th house. But he's also making a trine up to Uranus in that 8th house that we talked about. This is also the parental axis period. So your relationship to your mom, your dad, authority figures in your life, even bosses, or if you're a boss, Scorpio, your leadership style will probably go through a transformation. Also, what was I going to say? Grandparents. I'll throw grandparents in here as well. Any sort of past ancestral connections here. Pluto will be deconstructing this area of life and getting to the core of what you want in this 4th area of home, family, foundation, and security, and what that means for you, Scorpio. So that's the kite. That's kind of the nuggets of information of Scorpio. Now, if you want to pull that information together and what resonates with you, what applies to your circumstances. Now, Jupiter, I'm going to throw in the mix here. Yes, I'm getting ahead of myself. So now let's fast forward to middle of 2026 when Jupiter moves into Leo. I'm skipping over Jupiter in Cancer for a reason, because again, Jupiter in Leo is the one that creates this cradle or this basket aspect. Okay, I'm not disregarding Jupiter in Cancer. I made a separate video about that. I'll release all these videos slowly but surely throughout the first half of 2025. So depending on when you're watching for this, it might be posted, it might not be. So stay tuned and keep checking back to my channel. But I'm not saying that aspect's not important. I just want to be clear. But Jupiter moving into your 10th house of Leo, this is going to expand you at the top of your sky and activate this kite and bring in that cradle of life energy of what I'm kind of calling it here. So 10th house is all about career, status, reputation, which you're known for, Scorpio, expanding you. If you're a business owner, a boss, a leader, whatever, Jupiter is going to expand career opportunities at the top of your sky. And also this is, again, a parental axis. So you're going to be taking on for a year, starting in 2026 into 2027, Jupiterian themes as a parent. So you'll be more jovial, expansive, play with the kids, be more fun, loving. I know, totally not like you, Scorpio, right? I know you're probably saying to yourself, what? What does that mean? Because again, you have Pluto, your ruler, which you already take on those Plutonian themes, but I can appreciate your birth chart, right? Depends on what you're watching for. Your sun might be somewhere else. Your rising might be somewhere else. So you're just seeing a slice of the pie that I'm talking about right now. But Jupiter is going to bring in that expansion on the family level as well, especially if this is your midheaven and IC that we're talking about. So again, I'm going to repeat myself because this is the parental axis. So relationships to authority figures, excellent time to ask for a raise or go after a leadership position or a position of power or whatever you want, Scorpio. Jupiter at the top of your sky is going to bring in opportunities to expand on whatever you want, because it's going to touch on all areas of life, home life, your relationship sector, and you, Scorpio. Jupiter up here is actually going to challenge you and ask you to step outside of your comfort zone and add in an additional layer to this kite formation, if that makes sense. The seeds that you plant in 2025, Jupiter will help expand on in 2026, if that makes sense. Okay. Otherwise, I think that is about it, Scorpio. And again, I'm not saying you have to do something. If this isn't exact to the science, this is just if you're curious. If those of you that are curious and want to lean into this, if something resonated with you, again, excellent transit to change your work, change your career, or plan for retirement, or move into retirement, or move into parenthood, or whatever the case may be. Because this might not also, I can appreciate this might not also be about work. This is, again, about being of service and how you want to be known. 10th house is also the legacy that you want to leave behind for whoever, your kids, your grandkids, associates, business partners, whatever you want, Scorpio, whatever you want. So I hope at least some of that information resonated with you, Scorpio. Enjoy this transit. Like I said, I'm asking people to lean into it, but you don't have to. My guides, spiritual team are clearly showing me seeds will be planted consciously and unconsciously. So regardless if you use this energy or not, it's there. It's all systems go. Something is going to be moving forward in this area of life with respect to your 6th house, your 4th house, and your 8th house, regardless. So anyway, Scorpio, enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Sagittarius, let's talk about the top of this kite formation and what areas of life are going to be supporting this sort of new beginning that is happening in 2025 and 2026. So first of all, Sag, I think you're going to love this because Your life houses are going to be activated, and your social and relationship houses are going to be activated. So fire and air is definitely going to be your friend for decades and decades to come, Sag. So let's break this down. So the top of the kite, what I'm referring to, is where seeds of intention, consciously or unconsciously, are going to be planted. So let's start there. This is your house of Aries, and this is where Saturn and Neptune will be coming together in mid-2025. But again, Sag, I want to be clear, this isn't clockwork. This isn't me telling you, okay, you've got 35 days to change your life. No, this is like a 2-year transit, and this is going to take us decades into the future, okay? Like a long time. So don't panic or worry about trying to figure this out now. Right now, I'm just doing this to get people curious. I'm trying to spark a fire or light in people to utilize this energy. Because regardless, it's, my guides are saying the intention is there, whether we realize it or not. So anyway, so the fifth house. The fifth house is where this new beginning is starting, so to speak, for you, Sag. So this is about children. This is about grandchildren, could be, if that resonates with you, or working with children. So think outside the box here. Something to do with children is in focus, or maybe in focus. This is about love affairs and romance and dating. Now, for those of you that are married in a committed relationship, I'm not saying this is a doom and gloom transit. This is about reigniting that marital commitment that you made to this person, okay? Or maybe taking the next step with this person if you've been dating someone for a while, or whatever the case may be, okay? So I'm not dooming and glooming this. I'm actually thinking bigger than just relationships here, Sag. But, you know, I got to throw it out there because the fifth house does represent romance and dating and sex and all that fun stuff, right? Fifth house is creativity and self-expression and joy and entertainment, gambling, it's hobbies, it's the fun house. And you know, when you're in school and they say to you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's the question I'm going to ask you, Sag. And I don't care how old you are, because some of you are probably saying, well, Stacey, I'm in my 60s, I'm retired, or I'm in my 70s, and I like, none of this applies to me. Well, make it apply to you, Sag. That's my challenge to you. That's my inspiration to you, is lean into this in any way, shape, or form that we're going to talk about here. And if you're not working, again, apply this to your circumstance. I encourage everyone who's not working, I've been saying this in every single video, lean into humanitarian efforts, lean into collective efforts. You, Sag, lean into helping kids. What does that mean to you? Could be kids, could be teenagers, could be whatever. Whether you have kids or don't have kids, it doesn't matter. This is about doing something for the greater good, for the collective, that is going to light you up from the inside out. And again, if that doesn't resonate, then apply this to turning a hobby into a side hustle, leaning into those creative projects or endeavors. So that's where something is being planted. And again, this is also a house of fertility, Sag. So I'm just going to throw that out there as well for those of you that want to start a family under this transit. Now let's talk about the angles of this kite, Pluto and Uranus. So let's see here. Let's start with Pluto in your third house. Now keep in mind, Pluto's going to be here for a long time. What I'm talking about is this snapshot of time where Pluto will be supporting these angles, these aspects for you. So the third house is the lower mind. This is how we digest information, how we speak, how we think, how we communicate. This is about education. This is about learning something new, skills, talents, and abilities, upgrading, going back to school, or you becoming the teacher, the mentor, the coach, the elder. This could have something to do with siblings or cousins or relatives or extended family members or neighbors or neighborhoods or your place of living, your local vicinity, your local community, your local town, city, wherever you're living. Third house is also the internet and social media as well, and short distance traveling. But it could be either or. I'm going to open it up to either or. Yes, Pluto is more so focused on he's going to deconstruct this area of life for like 20 years. So I'm not saying you got to cut off international travel, because you cannot say that to a Sag, by the way, right? But Pluto's focusing in on your local vicinity, and we'll get to Jupiter up in your 9th house in a second here. So that's the angle Pluto is bringing in. Now, Uranus, this is all about relationships. Uranus in your house of relationships. So this is contracts, agreements, negotiations, even marital contracts, business partnerships, love relationships, friends, family, anybody who you're in bed with, Sag, literally or metaphorically speaking. It's how you relate one-on-one to people, Sag. Also, I think you're going to be bringing in Uranian type of people. You're going to attract in very unique, unusual people, maybe even otherworldly people, dare I say, Sag, because Uranus is going to be in here for 7 years. So whether you're married or not, I'm not saying you're going to be cheating on your partner or anything like that, but you'll naturally just attract in a unique base of people that, again, is going to support you with this vision or this new seed or this new beginning that's being planted in that 5th house, if that makes sense. So that's the top of the kite, Sag. Now, let's bring in the Jupiter angle here. Now, I'm skipping over Jupiter in Cancer for a reason, because in this video, I'm just concentrating on the cradle of life formation and the kite formation. Now, I think I forgot to say, on the right-hand side of the screen here is all my other videos about Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, Jupiter in Cancer, also Jupiter in Leo, but I won't be doing that video until like 2026. Stay tuned. I'll be slowly but surely releasing these videos throughout early 2025. But these are all the ingress dates when they dive into the new territory and come back to the new territory. Okay, Sag? So take a screenshot, pause the video, write this down, do whatever you want to do, or if you even want to utilize this information. But I just don't want to degrade the Jupiter transit in Cancer. Okay, I'm not ignoring that transit. I already covered that off in another video. And trust me, we're going to need Jupiter in Cancer in 2025. That's for sure, because that's the only grounding post we have in 2025. So Jupiter moving into Leo. Let's pretend it's middle of 2026. Jupiter hops into this sign, bringing in now another layer to what I just yacked about there, about your 7th house, your 5th house, your 3rd house. So Jupiter up in the 9th house, this is actually your area of life, Sag. This is your specialty. This is your comfort zone. And on top of it, this is your planet. This is your ruler coming into your area of life. So you Sag, you are going to light up like a Christmas tree in 2026, middle of 2026 until middle of 2027. You'll have this energy. You'll love it. You are going to love this. So 9th house, what is the 9th house? This is where Jupiter will be expanding, bringing an opportunity and adding in another layer to this beginning that's happening possibly in your 5th house. So this is about religion, spirituality, the higher powers that be, whatever you want to call it. This is the house of the gods. This is the house of reaching a higher, wider audience, Sag. This is about higher education and teaching. Again, you becoming the mentor, the teacher, the coach, or you going back to school and learning a whole new path, a whole new identity. Whatever you do in this 9th house, you're going to be taking into the 10th house. But I'm getting way, way, way ahead of myself here, 2027 beyond. The 9th house is also about foreign lands, foreign cultures, anything to do with global. Think globally when it comes to the 9th house. Long distance travel is in here as well. Ethics, belief systems, dealing with people all over the globe. Again, casting that net really wide, Sag, and reaching a wider audience beyond your wildest dreams and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, Sag. So those are the areas of life that are being lit up for you. Again, social houses, relationship houses, and areas of life. These are life houses where you're birthing something new, quite literally, for those of you that are going to be starting a family over the next several years. And just think of it, Sag, I'm going to throw it out there. For those of you that are having children, they're going to have this in their birth chart, like stamped in their birth chart, which is going to be magical on its own terms. I'm not saying they're going to be better than us, because we have this too in our birth chart. But the kids that are being born over the next, I don't know, 10 years will have this in their chart. And well, at least Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, I guess. I should be narrowing this down a little bit. But regardless, they're going to have this incredible energy to help move society forward, to help move the collective forward, which is going to be amazing. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here, Sag. That's for those of you that, you know, if you want to start a family at this time, that's a little hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that your children are going to come in with these special gifts, talents, and abilities to help globally, not only locally, but globally, like these global movements. So anyway, Sag, I hope that resonated. I hope at least one thing you can resonate with, or at the very least, lean into this. Something to think about, something to chew on, something to ponder, something to meditate on. I'll leave all of that up to you. Otherwise, we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Capricorn, let's talk about this kite formation and the seeds of intention that will be planted over the next couple years or so. I should say intentionally or non-intentionally, Capricorn, because we can utilize this energy in any way, shape, or form. Now, Capricorn, this is really lighting up the bottom of your chart. You can kind of see the horizon there between you and Cancer. And, you know, we have all these heavy hitters at the bottom of your sky. So you're definitely, Capricorn, working on something big or transitioning your life in a big, major way over the next, I'm going to say, 2 years, but even beyond. Because slowly but surely the planets will pop up over the horizon. And then that's when, you know, rubber hits the road. But it doesn't mean, Capricorn, you can't have that forward momentum now. So let's break this down here. Let's start with this concentrated energy in your 4th house. Because Capricorn, that's kind of where a new beginning, a fresh start, a seed is being planted. Again, whether consciously or unconsciously. I'm not telling you how to utilize this energy. This is just more so something to think about. Also, let me just quickly back up here. Your wealth houses, so this kite and the cradle formation is highlighting wealth, areas of wealth for you, but also areas of endings. And we'll go over your house of endings here in particular, which is the 4th house and also the 8th house as well. But it doesn't mean you're going to die, Capricorn. I just want to be clear about that. This is about the legacy that you want to leave behind. That's kind of the big message I'm also hearing, but also how you want to grow your wealth and sort of your status or positioning in society is what they're also saying to me. But anyway, let's get back to this 4th house. So 4th house of family, home, place of living, people that you live with. So again, you fill in the blank there, whether you live alone or with your kids or a partner or flatmates or whatever. Security, Capricorn, and what that means to you, for you. This is about ancestry. This is about your roots, the foundation of your life, like where you come from, where you came from. That could be, by the way, that could be galactic, and that could also be literal. Let's just put it that way, you know, because I want to cast a wide net here. Also, 4th house is, of course, property, place of living, especially if your IC runs through Aries. This is about retirement. Now, for those of you that, again, applies to your life, whether you're working or not working, because this could be plans for retirement, saving for retirement, or moving into retirement. Capricorn, this is also a parental access for you. So mother, father, authority figures could be involved here, grandparents. Again, the past ancestry, your roots, extended family members. But also I'm hearing loud and clear your star family as well. Like they're saying, don't forget about the star families. Okay, so I'll throw that out there too. You as a parent, Capricorn, are also housed in this 4th house, but also the 10th house as well. So Capricorn, this is where something new is being initiated in the dark. You know, think of the dark night of the moon. Now, the supporting factors of this, let's dive into that, into Pluto and Uranus. So let's start with Pluto in your second house. Pluto will be deconstructing this area of life for you over the next 20 years. But I'm talking about this initial snapshot in 2025, 2026. This is about work. This is about finances. This is about resources. This is about how you line your pockets, Capricorn. This is big wealth. Pluto is big wealth. This isn't playing small. This is going big, Capricorn. I love this for all the Capricornians out there. This is your value systems. This is your material possessions, things that you personally or physically own. This is also property. Second house is also diet, nutrition. So I'm going to roll that in there as well. Second house can also be about like surgeries of the face, so to speak, because especially with Pluto in here, you could literally deconstruct your face and create the image that you want, Capricorn. So I'll just leave it at that as well. So that's the angle Pluto will be supporting you. Now keep in mind, apply this to your life whether you're working or not. Okay, if you're not working, I encourage you to lean into group efforts, lean into humanitarian efforts, lean into that Pluto in Aquarius. And for those of you that have the means to do so, help other people. That's what I really like. Trust me, that is going to come back to you tenfold, Capricorn. So I'll just put it out there just as that. Or I'll leave it at that. I don't want to like preach about that and stuff like that because everybody's on their own timeline, right? Now, on the other side of this kite is where Uranus is going to be for 7 years in this area of life. Again, supporting this sort of new beginning that's starting in that fourth house. So the sixth house is a very busy house. Again, it's a house of being of service. So again, this is a wealth house as well. So how do you want to be of service, Capricorn? Do you want to change your work? Do you want to change your circumstances? By the way, hint, hint, wink, wink, this is the time to do it, Capricorn. This is the time to change your work, change your career, change your life, change your finances, change your resources, turn all of that around. Now is the time to at least start, Capricorn. This is not me telling you, okay, you got 35 days to change your life and to build the house of your dreams and to do this and to do that and become a billionaire. No. No, Capricorn, you have a long time to do this. I'm just inspiring you and encouraging you to start thinking about it now and maybe planting those seeds of intention, again, 2025 and into 2026. So Uranus here in your area of day-to-day duty, work, responsibility, whatever that means to you, your health and well-being, your fitness, your diet, your routines, this is also the house of pets and animals too, Capricorn. This is the workplace, whether you work for somebody else or you own a business or you run a business, Capricorn. This is people that also work for you or with you. This is rental properties, rental agreements, if that resonates with you, Capricorn, for those of you that have renters, people paying you, or maybe that's how you earn a living. Sixth house is coworkers, the environment, the atmosphere of the workplace. And of course, Uranus in here is going to literally shake up your routines in a good way though. Uranus is always, expect the unexpected, but he's supporting you at the end of the day to break those chains, Capricorn. So Uranus and Pluto are helping from those angles and aspects. Now I'm going to jump to Jupiter here. And I don't think I mentioned this, but the right-hand side of the screen there, I have all the dates listed and the ingresses. I've made separate videos about this, you guys, but depending on when you're watching this video, I'll slowly release them throughout the early months of 2025. If you want to dive into more about Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, and Jupiter in Cancer. So I'm not saying Jupiter in Cancer won't be important. I cover that off in a separate video. But this video, again, Jupiter is going to highlight the cradle of life here. You see the little basket he's kind of forming? And as these planets move on, it's kind of like they're going to get more public. So that's what I mean. It's going to bleed into your career, your status, your reputation, the legacy that you want to leave behind, because that's when the basket will dump out at some point, all the energy's out. So Capricorn, Jupiter in the 8th house will trigger this kite, but also, like I said, create kind of a cradle of life for another layer of energy that you can incorporate into what we just talked about, your 2nd house, your 4th house, and your 6th house. So 8th house is a deep, intense psychological house. It's this could be psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual, or it could be physical. But this is like a purge. Jupiter is going to ask you to kind of get rid of things so you can welcome in maybe new things in this area of life. 8th house is big life transformation. It is death and rebirth, Capricorn. I'm not saying you're going to die, but Jupiter here will help expand something so big that you can't ignore it anymore. You have to deal with it under this transit with Jupiter in the 8th house. But this is also a blessing. Wherever Jupiter goes, he brings in opportunity. Now, this is a financial house, but it's also the house of endings. So again, purge, letting things go. This could be about mundane stuff, taxes, debts, loans, getting the mortgage that you need, getting the right business loan that you need, Capricorn, getting whatever it is that you need. Like Jupiter will help align the stars from a financial angle, especially with Pluto and Jupiter working in your financial axes. I think you're going to like this. I think this will be beneficial, but again, it depends on how you utilize this energy. I just recommend don't go too crazy into debt. Don't bet the farm. Don't bite off more than you can chew from a financial angle, Capricorn, because I'm going to say this. Some of you already probably heard me say this, but I'm hearing this again. Yes, Pluto is wealth. This is like rags to riches transit, but if you're careless with your money and your resources, it could go the opposite direction. I'm not worried about Capricorns though, because they're so worried about their finances, they're usually fine. So if they dig themselves into a hole, they usually dig themselves out. I'm a Capricorn rising and Capricorn moon. I've personally gone through this myself, where I've gone into so much debt. I was quite surprised. I was like, where did that come from? I didn't do that. I was like in denial. But guess what? I dug myself out just as fast. You know, persevere. That's what Capricorns are so good at. So I'm not trying to scare you. I want you to bring in the logical lens here, because I don't want all of you to think, or some of you out there to think, oh, this is automatic. I'm going to become a billionaire, millionaire. Not really. I mean, maybe 8th house Jupiter inheritance. If you have a very wealthy aunt, uncle, relative, parent, maybe that's how some of you will get wealth, is through an inheritance. That's a possibility, absolutely, with Pluto and Jupiter in this axis. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. That's just something I heard, so I had to, sorry, my apologies, I had to do a sidebar there. 8th house is also about your shared assets, shared property, shared resources, Capricorn. So anything to do with another person, people that you're literally in bed with from a marital or love perspective, or business, I'm talking about. Business, family, friends, again, anyone you share a piggy bank with or a business loan with, or again, debts, mortgages, loans, things like that. That could be the spotlight with Jupiter up in the 8th house as well. So it might not be about you with this transit. It might be about maybe the right business partner coming in, maybe the right collaboration coming in, or maybe your partner, business or love, maybe they get a salary increase, or they can bring more to the table, or you become more wealthy because of your partner, if that makes sense, Capricorn. So that's kind of the angles we're working with here, Capricorn. Like I said, I'm not telling you have to do something. I'm not telling you like you got to do something or else. No, because again, seeds are going to be planted consciously and unconsciously. They're showing me that it is what it is. I'm just, again, giving everyone an angle of, okay, here's how you can utilize this energy. Here's where it's being lit up. Now, the choice is yours if you want to utilize these nuggets of information or not, Capricorn. But otherwise, enjoy this transit, Capricorn, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Aquarius, let's talk about this kite formation and what areas of life are being lit up for you. So Aquarius, really nice energy coming in for you. Your life houses and your social houses and your relationship houses are really being highlighted with this kite energy and this cradle energy as well. And you know, look at the imagery. I know I got a belly button basic chart in front of us here, okay? But look at how these planets are like supporting you, like this, like a cradle. I love that for you. I love, love, love this for you, my friends. And I think you'll love this energy too. But again, take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm not telling any of you you have to do anything with this energy. I'm just trying to inspire those of you that want to change your life. You're tired of your circumstances and you want to get the hell moving into something new. Okay. By the way, Pluto in your first house, that alone is going to give you the power to completely transform your life, Aquarius. Never mind these other transits, but you get the support of these other transits. So it's like you pack a double, triple punch, whatever you're watching for right now. Yeah, you're going to be a powerhouse, Aquarius, after this transit with Pluto in your first house. I just went through this. I'm a Cap rising and a Cap moon, and man, oh man, I don't regret anything I went through. Like, you're going to feel unstoppable after this transit. I cannot stress that enough, my friends. So anyway, enough of me preaching. Okay, let's start at the top of the kite. So this is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your third house that's happening middle of 2025. But again, 2025, 2026, this energy will be active for like 2 years and beyond, Aquarius. So your third house is all about the lower mind. This is about how you chew on information, how you digest information, how you speak, how you think, how you write, how you talk. So that definitely could be going through some changes with these two planetary aspects there for a long time. But again, there's something being planted here in the darkness, consciously or unconsciously, Aquarius. So that's what I want you to think about. This is the area of life regarding communication, technology, transportation, how you get around, so planes, trains, automobiles. This is your house of siblings, cousins, relatives, extended family members, neighbors, neighborhoods, your place of living and how you relate to your community, or who is your community, who would you consider your community. This is the house of social media, the internet, book publishing, writing, getting your word out there, like blogging, and this is short distance travel. I'm not disregarding long distance travel. It's just the third houses are really focused on your local city, town, state, environment, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's where something's being started. Now, Pluto and Uranus are going to support you on both sides. So Pluto, because Pluto is in your first house, this is about your physical appearance. This is about your identity. This is like your place in the world. This is the health and well-being of your body, how you're taking care of the body. First house is anything to do with major life themes and cycles, Aquarius. So I feel like Pluto can be whoever you want him to be and need him to be with this new beginning, if that makes sense. Pluto, by the way, yes, he will deconstruct your first house for 20 years. But I mean, this is a 20-year transit. He's just getting started. But you can be whoever you want to be with Pluto in your first house. I'm just putting it out there like that. Now, Uranus on the other side of this kite is supporting you from your fifth house. And this is about children. This is about grandchildren. By the way, this is a fertility house, Aquarius, with Uranus in here for 7 years. Depending on your age, of course, I can appreciate that. Take those extra precautions if you don't want to start a family, because this is like wicked surprise pregnancies, Aquarius, because it's Uranus. It's like expect the unexpected. So I'm just going to throw it out there. If you don't want to start a family, if you do want to start a family, oh my goodness, yeah, you got a 7-year trial and error here. So Uranus, you might get pregnant a lot quicker than you think. So just putting it out there for those of you that it resonates with. Otherwise, fifth house is love affairs and romance and dating and sex and all that, all the fun stuff. The fifth house is like all the goodies in life, all the good shit in life, basically, Aquarius. So lucky you, you have Uranus in here shaking it up for 7 years, whether you're married or not married, okay, Aquarius? So I'm not saying you're going to break up or blah, 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 blah. If you're single, you're definitely going to bring in some Uranian, some unique souls your way. I'll put it that way. Fifth house is creativity, self-expression, what lights you up from the inside out, what brings you joy. This is hobbies. This is entertainment. This is gambling. But yeah, please don't gamble your life away, Aquarius. But it's the house of entertainment, joy, drama. It's the house of when you're in school and they say to you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a scientist. I want to be whatever, you fill in the blank. So that's this area of life that Uranus is going to bring back the joy and incorporate this new beginning, help you tie into this new beginning, however that, whatever that means for you, Aquarius. Now, the other angle of this, I'm going to jump ahead to 2026. The right-hand side of the screen is all the dates of the ingresses, like when Saturn and Neptune move into Aries, when Uranus moves into Gemini, when Jupiter moves into Cancer and Leo. So I'm purposely skipping over Jupiter and Cancer. I made a separate video about that. Stay tuned. I'll be releasing all these videos, ingress videos, throughout early 2025. So stay tuned. But the purpose of this video is the activation that Jupiter is going to bring in 2026. So I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but this is when Jupiter is going to create this cradle of life. And he's also going to activate Pluto and Saturn and Neptune and Uranus and this seed of intention that was planted approximately in 2025. So Jupiter is going to bring in this additional layer. And this is going to be your 7th house, Aquarius. So this is about how you relate 101 to people. This is the house of the other. This could also be your clients, by the way. For those of you that own a business, run a business, or want to build a business, this is your clientele. These are the people that are going to attract, you're going to attract in. So you could attract in people from all over the globe, but you're going to, with Jupiter in here, Jupiter will expand the opportunities in the house of another and bring those towards you, benefits towards you, Aquarius, which is amazing. And yes, this is the house of marriage. Maybe some of you will get married. I'd have to see your birth chart though. I got to see that 3 times to be concrete. But, you know, Saturn, Neptune making an aspect to your love line, if it's your rising, possibility. Jupiter in the 7th house, that is marriage. You know, Jupiter is a marital committed planet, same with Saturn. So the possibility is there, but I also can appreciate not all of you, that's not on your radar, or you're not ready for that, or whatever the circumstances are. But regardless, 7th house does open you up to love, if you're open to that, does open you up to marital commitments, if you're open to that, business partnerships, friendships, groups, associations, social media, again, social media, internet, putting yourself out there, reaching a higher, wider audience, Aquarius. So this is the angle that Jupiter is going to bring in. Also offers like contracts, agreements, negotiations, whatever that means. Jupiter is going to expand on this starting in middle of 2026, and it's going to again support Saturn and Neptune and Uranus. He will challenge Pluto in your 1st house, but this is a integration point or a manifestation point. I don't think this is a bad thing when Jupiter and Pluto oppose each other, because this is just a kind of a rebalancing energy, or like I said, a manifestation, or just incorporating the yin and yang energies into, you fill in the blank, relationships, your physical appearance, your career, work life, home life, whatever this is for you, Aquarius, that resonates with you. Otherwise, that is about it, Aquarius. That's all I kind of wanted to ask you to lean into. And again, you don't have to do anything with this. I'm not saying you got to do this in 35 days or 60 days. No, this energy is with us in 2025, well into 2026. And as the planetary alignments move along, they're going to kind of wake up and pop above the horizon. So whatever you're integrating or working on behind the scenes, at some point will gravitate towards the public area of your sky. And Jupiter is just starting. He's popping over the horizon middle of 2026, helping you, again, expand on these ideas, bring in the right people, synchronicity, the right people, places, things into your life to help you build and create the life that you want, Aquarius. And again, you have that powerhouse in your first house. You're the only sign that has this energy in the first house. So you have that extra, again, power and oomph to create the life, whatever it is that you want. Now is the time, Aquarius. Now is the time to start that. And again, I'm not saying you have to, okay? So please don't, and also apply this to your circumstances if you're working or not working. If you're not working, by the way, I encourage you to lean into your Pluto. Lean into those humanitarian efforts. Lean into things that light you up and bring you joy from the inside and out. Also, if any of you are interested in working with kids or doing something to do with young people, I think that could also be monumental. I'm just going to also throw that out there too, for those of you that maybe don't have kids, but the joy in working with children, I think would be absolutely amazing. So I'll just leave it at that, Aquarius. Otherwise, enjoy this transit, enjoy this energy. Like I said, utilize it in however which way you want. And we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Pisces, let's talk about this kite formation and the areas of life that are being lit up for you in 2025 and into 2026. So Pisces, your wealth houses are being activated. And also your houses of endings are being activated as well. Now, I'm not saying you're going to die, Pisces. Just want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with endings, because what comes with endings is new beginnings. So we'll get into some examples here. So Pisces, first, let's start with the second house. This is where the top of the kite is, and this is where a seed of intention is being planted in the darkness. So this is conscious or unconscious energy. So keep that in mind. I'm also not forcing your hand, Pisces. I'm not saying you have to do this. You have to change your life. You got to do this. No. You utilize this however you want to. You lean into this, whatever resonates with you and what you're called to do. That's the reason and the purpose why I'm doing these videos. This video in particular that I was called to do. So second house, Saturn and Neptune are coming together. Neptune being your modern ruler and Jupiter being your traditional ruler, which we'll get to in a second. This is all about work. This is all about what you do on a day-to-day basis. Now, again, if you're not working, how are you being of service? I would recommend that you lean into that. Doesn't matter what age you are. It's like, what kind of mark do you want to leave on the world? Big or small. I'm not telling you you got to be some rock star and make this big life movements, planetary. No. We all contribute in our own way, and they're showing me that. They're showing me it doesn't matter. Big or small, all of us make an impact. So work, how you earn a living, how you make a living. Again, how do you pay your bills if you're not working? How does money flow to you? That's where this seed of intention is being planted. Also your value system, material possessions, property, what belongs to you, what you own. Second house is also about the image, the face, quite literally as well. That could be going through some transformation as well. The teeth, if you want to get your teeth fixed, Saturn going through here can help you with that as well. Get you a new grill there, Pisces. I'm just throwing out crazy examples here. But anyway, so that's the second house of where this seed of intention is being planted. Now, Pluto and Uranus will be supporting this new beginning. So Pluto in a house of endings. So Pluto's going to be here 20 years, Pisces. So again, nothing to get excited about. Some of you will feel this, some of you won't. But the 12th house is all about preparing for a brand new cycle. So what Pluto's doing, slowly but surely, is cleaning out the closets, Pisces, and actually he's getting ready to pop into your sign. But I'm getting way ahead of myself here. This is not going to happen until 2043, 2044. So, you know, there's no rush here, but he's cleaning out the closets. It's a purge. It's like a big purge, big life purge with Pluto in the 12th house. Nothing will survive in your closet after this, Pisces. Think of it that way. In a good way, by the way. I'm not dooming and glooming this at all. But this is about letting things go once and for all, so you don't need to carry them with you into this new beginning that you're trying to birth right now, birthing something new. So think of energetic cords, psychological, mental, emotional, physical. This could also be about healing, by the way, Pisces. You have a lot of time to heal and regenerate and rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul with Pluto in the 12th house. This is also an introspection of where is your time, your money, your effort, your love, you fill in the blank. Where is all that going to? Maybe it's time to reassess that. 12th house is about spirituality and awakenings. This is about spiritual growth or again, your belief systems. Solitude is big with Pluto in the 12th house. So if you crave that and need that, Pisces, take a step back, take a step away from whatever. 12th house is also about your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities. So Pluto will be deconstructing this area of life, but he'll be deconstructing it, but also healing it and bringing in something new. Again, over the next several years. But he's also incorporating this into this new beginning in your second house. Now, Uranus on the other side of the kite, Uranus is in your 4th house of home, family, foundation, security. What does security, safety, and security mean to you, Pisces? Or a security blanket, quite literally. This is about the past, property, your literal home, your literal place of living, especially if your IC goes through here. This is ancestry, where you came from, galactically or physically, however you want to take that. This is the past coming back around, or the past being shooken up in some way, shape, or form. This is about retirement as well, or thoughts of retirement. Or again, apply this if you're working or not working, but the 4th house is retirement. Pisces, the 4th house is also you as a parent, if you are a parent or a parental figure to someone. You're going to have a Uranian streak about you for about 7 years. And this is also your parents, if your parents are still with us. This is mother, father, authority figures in our life. And I'll even throw in there grandparents as well, because that could be a possibility. So those are the areas of life that are being activated, and they support each other with this kite formation, Pisces. Now, Jupiter being thrown in the mix. Yes, I'm skipping over, excuse me, Jupiter in Cancer on purpose. I'm not saying it's not important. I made separate videos about this, by the way. So all the ingresses I have listed on the right-hand side of the screen if you want to take a screenshot, if you want to pause the video. I'm not going to go through these line by line, but you can see them there on the screen. I'll release these videos throughout early 2025, you guys. So stay tuned for that, or subscribe, or keep checking back on my channel. I will release those about a month before the ingresses into new territory. So I made a separate video about Jupiter moving through Cancer. I'm going to jump ahead to 2026, middle of 2026, when Jupiter moves into Leo, because this is when he activates a cradle formation, but also he's going to activate Pluto and Saturn and Neptune and Uranus at some point, especially when he first ingresses into Leo. So we have like a window of time where this energy will come to fruition, it'll manifest, or it will come to our attention more rapidly than, say, other times throughout the next couple years or so. So Jupiter in the 6th house. This is again bringing in the angle of how can you be of service, Pisces, whether you're working or not working. If you want to change your work, Jupiter in here is going to bless that and bring in opportunities to change your work, your career, the work environment. If you own a business or run a business, the 6th house is also the people that work with you or for you as well, Pisces. So this is a blessing with Jupiter coming into the 6th house, but also it's going to activate the, okay, what do I want to do for the rest of my life, right? How do I want to contribute to society? Again, whether you're working or not working. 6th house is day-to-day duty and responsibility. This is also the area of life regarding your health and well-being, fitness, diets, pets, animals. If you work with pets and animals, how you're taking care of them. How are you taking care of you, Pisces, in your physical body? This is habits, routines. This is, like I mentioned, the workplace, the environment of the workplace, the culture of the workplace. Also, the 6th house rules your coworkers, actual coworkers, people that work alongside you or, again, work for you. If you own rental units or rental buildings or rent out, you fill in the blank, 6th house is also about that as well. So, Pisces, this is where Jupiter is going to add in that additional layer of this kite, of this cradle energy, and support you on birthing something new in this area of life that's technically going to start in that 2nd house. But I also don't want to box it in and say, you know, this is all about work, Pisces. No, you fill in the blank. You fill in the blank, whatever that means for you. Because again, you can bring in that Uranian streak, or you can bring in that Plutonian energy as well to support whatever this new beginning is. For those of you that are in or dabble in the metaphysical realm, yeah, this is beautiful energy coming in to lean into this. I'm not saying for the rest of you that have regular jobs aren't going to benefit from this, because you will. You will tremendously, because again, this is starting in your place of finances. This is starting with, you know, how do you want to set yourself up for success till the end of your days? Or again, you fill in the blank, whatever your plan is for the future, however old you are, you know, again, whatever you're watching for, apply this to your circumstances, Pisces. But otherwise, yeah, this is beautiful energy coming in. Again, I'm not telling you you have to do something. I just want you to percolate on this information, digest it, lean into it, meditate on it. They're also telling me that as well is you'll get your own intuitive hits with this energy as well, versus me just yakking on about it. Meditate on it. Ask your guides, ask your spiritual team of how you want to lean into this energy and what this energy is going to bring to the forefront for you personally. Again, these are lighting up your wealth houses, right? And about letting go of the past once and for all, Pisces, so you can almost like start anew and start fresh. With Saturn and Neptune in your 1st house for such a long time, they would have definitely helped you with that. But now Pluto's gonna, this is the epitome of cleaning out the closet, getting rid of skeletons, things coming to the forefront. So Pisces, enjoy this energy, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now.